states' rights versus federal. Like, what are you talking about? If America chooses to do it, I'm not going to go against it. Like, debate is intertwined in America. That is what America stands for. Differing views coming together and figuring out compromises and how best to move forward. Not, oh, this is what we're going to do, so everybody fall in line. Nobody questioned it at all. That's not what America's about. So, it's a typical thing in that sphere where they, say they're American this, pro-American that, whatever. And it's really just they're kind of selfish. They see this leader, they kind of like him a lot. They like to call him daddy. And they just follow whatever he says. So whatever they think that he would say, that is what they say. And then they say pro-America. It doesn't really make sense.
Also, I got a Cash App. It says CT love for the U.S. involves helping the enemy. Sheesh. That's kind of crazy. Let me read some. Did I read all the super chats? I believe so. Oh, nope. It says AR the King. It says Kimmy West. CT a tether, god damn it. What you tethering to now, Chaotic Truth? Kim West with the $2. AR is cooking.
You guys don't understand the world. Okay, because let's forget about Sharon. The fact that the United
to be
States
fair, you brought up technology.
Let's forget about the fact that the United States government. Let's
so
forget
who doesn't
about
understand
the
the
fact
world?
That the United States government left hundreds of billions of dollars of weapons, planes, etc. in Afghanistan. Let's forget about that. Let's forget about.
Okay, so now I'm glad that you brought that up. So now you're saying that because you agree that we should have did. So you agree with this whole situation with Iran, correct? Because you agree that we should have did.
Do I agree that Iran should be toppled as a government? Yes.
All right. So now when we go with what happened before, that means we're going to bring in all types of equipment, leave it over there, hundreds of millions of dollars. As Browser brought up earlier, those two planes is about 300 million a piece. Like all this stuff is just 80. That's about 80 million to 80 billion dollars out the window with nothing coming back because we ain't getting nothing back from the other ones. And as of right now, this is some kind of regime change war. And guess what happened? The regime ain't changed. So how is this supporting the war is pro-American is my question.
Because we want to make sure that Israel is safe and secure, and Israel remains a buffer in the Middle East. There's a lot of radical Islam or Islamic factions in the Middle East. And we want to make sure that Western philosophy, Western civilization runs and reigns supreme for the next 1,000 years. Let me tell you guys something, Sharon. Islam is a terrible thing. It's terrible, man. They want to live like it's in the 3rd century. Do you know that Islam, Sharon, the nation, the Islamic people, or the religion itself, were the biggest slavers in human history? Did you know that? What comes out of Islam?
What's the relevance?
What comes out of Islam?
Religion.
What comes good out of Islam? Just what comes good out of it? What's good about it?
Well, for one, you have the rights right now that you have largely due to the Nation of Islam and how they were able to congregate and get together to fight against the oppression that was going on in this great country right here, right? Are you aware of that? I'm sure you heard of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X, right?
I've heard of the traitor. Yeah,
probably read his book.
Wow. Yeah, he was a traitor. Yeah,
that is insane.
I think you probably just need to do a little bit more research, because you're saying he was a traitor. A traitor against who? A traitor against people who
he was a traitor by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he was a traitor, and people in the nation said he was a traitor. And Farrakhan, out of his own mouth, says if we dealt with him like he was a traitor.
And that's
what the
funny,
hell
right?
business is it of anybody else?
Now it's
So
all
he
making
was a
sense.
traitor.
Hold on. Let's slow it down. So,
hold on one
okay,
second.
hold on. No, because
traitor.
hold on. This is the problem that we have, right? So you say he's a traitor, and thank you, Beachy. I'm gonna bring you in very shortly. Thank you, Beachy, for bringing us on to Twitter. Thank you so much for your presence. I really appreciate you. And so, who he was a traitor to is the question, because you saying he's a traitor, because we are talking about nation and the country. Is he a traitor to the country, or was he a traitor to a specific
I got a point.
person?
I got a point because he brought up. Hold on. Chaotic Truth. I heard you. You brought up the honorable or dishonorable, however you want to call him, Elijah Muhammad. Right now, I find it ironic that the reason why Malcolm X distanced himself from Elijah Muhammad was due to the investigation where it was uncovered that he himself was fornicating with teenage girls. He himself, right?
Who is he? Who's he himself? Is that Malcolm X or is that Elijah? So Malcolm X was messing with minors.
Malcolm X discovered, right, that Elijah Muhammad was fornicating with teenage secretaries who was working on his behalf, right?
And you're still calling him the honorable? You still call Elijah
I said
Muhammad
honorable or dishonorable, however you want to call it.
Gotcha.
Right? That's what I said. Right. So I'm noticing a pattern with Chaotic Truth, right? So he sides with Elijah Muhammad, right, against Malcolm X, and then he also sides with Trump, right? Even though there's serious allegations in the Epstein files that haven't been redacted yet, that shows that he has engaged in conduct with underage girls in a sexual way, right? But I haven't heard Chaotic Truth distance himself from Trump. So it's all starting to make sense. You said, Chaotic Truth, you said you was against PDF files and people making incendiary jokes and people, having conversations saying they were married 12-year-old, 16-year-old girls. You said you was against all that, right? But this is the second example of you willing to slander an honorable man on behalf of somebody who is an alleged PDF file. Can you explain yourself, sir?
Again, alleged means absolutely nothing, man. Donald Trump has not been indicted and found guilty of being a PDF file. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to my knowledge, though he was accused, the teenage secretary, if I'm not mistaken, was an 18-year-old. But nevertheless, man, this country is based on systems and institutions, man. And until Trump is convicted, and until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is convicted, now he's been dead for quite some time, then you're just speaking into a microphone, buddy. And I support the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I support.
And that's the thing.
I don't support Malcolm X.
Convicted, right? Those brothers who are going on panels talking about, it's okay to marry 12-year-olds and marry 16-year-olds.
What does that
They
have to do with?
haven't been convicted, right?
What does
but
that
yet,
have to do
when
with
I
me?
asked you, see, here's the thing. Here's where you're double speaking, Chaotic Truth. Because my brother, I asked you, I said, would you align yourself with those types of individuals?
I align myself with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Yes.
I did not say that they were convicted, right? I said that these brothers are expressing and espousing views of PDF file behavior.
Who is?
Right?
Who?
You said
who?
I gave you the examples. I said,
who?
Hey, if guys are saying it's okay to marry 12-year-olds, okay to marry 16-year-olds, guys are making lewd sexual jokes about minors, right? These aren't guys who have been convicted of anything, right? Because you can be a PDF file without being convicted of anything.
Did
right?
Trump do that? Or
I'm
something?
sure you're intelligent enough to understand that.
I'm asking you, did Trump do that?
So now to land it, when we go to the Epstein files, right?
Sure.
We all understand that there is thousands of pages to where Trump is engaging in some type of conduct with some individuals that are PDF files, right? Not only is he engaging in conduct with them, like flying on their private jets multiple times a year, but also there's serious allegations within those files that accuses him of engaging in harming young
Really?
children.
Like where in the files? Because I went over the files on my show. Where in the files that accuses
The
them of
unredacted files, the unredacted
unredacted
files
files?
that the Congress have seen, right? Congressman Lou, for example, spoke about that and said, hey, when we release the unredacted files, you will see these serious allegations that Trump is associated with, right? So what I'm saying is, you're saying on one hand, well, yeah, we should distance ourselves from these guys, even if they're not convicted. But when it comes to people you like or support, you're willing to fight tooth and nail unless they get a conviction. That's called being a double-minded man, my brother. And a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. Peace and love.
Okay, so I guess we good right there. Let me also welcome into the show BGO8, and then we also got Stanley. BGO8, what is your thoughts? And then we got Stanley, what is your thoughts? And let's get back into the conversation.
What's up, guys? Shout out, y'all. Shout out to Twitter fam. I'm gonna jump. Let them get it first because I'm trying to. Some people on Twitter.
You doing your work? Okay, you doing your work.
The people on Twitter are asking for your channel, so I'm trying to give them that. So if y'all can just go on, so I'm not distracted typing at the same time. Y'all, we're streaming verified on Twitter. Shout out to the Sharon Baracey Show. We're showing that Black men, people of color, have intellectual conversation dealing with politics as such, and we will be taken seriously. So just make sure that you understand that what you are saying right now is being streamed live via Twitter verified. So they are seeing and watching and hearing everything going on here. So make sure be very cautious, okay, on what you say. All right, you guys carry on. I'm gonna go ahead and put this link out here for the other people.
And shout out to the 220 people that's watching collectively. Make sure y'all hit the like, the share button. That really helps the channel. If you can donate, that is much appreciated. Welcome into the show, Stanley. Good day, Stanley. How
Hey there.
do you? Good day. What's your thoughts?
I'm only going to be up here for a little bit. I was ignominiously timed out in your chat, so that prompted me to come up. I rarely do this, and I don't particularly agree with CT's position. However, I understand where he's coming from, and I'm going to piss some people off when I say this. The questioning that AR and Brownsville, their line of questioning, has been just shy of idiotic. They are not accomplishing what they think they're accomplishing, and I'm on the left, and I think CT is whipping both their butts. So CT has done a 2-on-1 fight and won.
Thank you, Stanley.
That's it.
Thank you, buddy.
So, Stan, do you agree with the attack on Iran as well?
No, I think it's totally unnecessary. Most the polls I've seen pretty much take my position. I have no clue why Trump did it. You know, he's got people guessing why he did it. I don't believe there was an existential threat. I thought that the nuclear threat was taken care of in last year's bombing. So what I've gathered is Netanyahu told him that, hey, I'm going to do it. You might as well join us. And that's the reason. And then the other thing I saw in the Washington Post today is that apparently the Ayatollah had been making death threats or threatening Trump's life. So the headline of this opinion piece reads, "I got you first." So Trump has people guessing as to why this is happening. So that's where I stand on it. I think that this is just another, kind of a version of Iraq.
That's what it definitely seems like. Chaotic Truth, do you think this is different from Iraq?
Not necessarily. I mean, Iraq was, essentially the same. It was the toppling of a government to establish a more Western style government. Uh, the weapons of mass destruction, you could argue that the same thing is going on in Iran. Iran, if I'm not mistaken, has WMDs, and supposedly Iraq had them, but that turned out to be bullshit. And it was a government that wasn't pro-Western to a degree, Saddam's government, and I really believe America is a part of a global, I don't want to say scheme, right, but some sort of global. There's definitely an initiative of making the planet more Western, and it may take another 100 years, maybe 200 years, but I never served in the military, right, Sharon? So I'm willing to believe that there are individuals on this planet that are diabolically opposed to Western civilization. And if you disrupt Western civilization, you disrupt the globe. For example, when the Houthis took over the western portion of Yemen, and please forgive me, I forgot the name of the strait. There was a strait.
Straits of Hormuz.
Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. That strait is essential to global commerce. And when they took over, they would attack many cargo ships that would choke supply chains. And so if you have individuals that are willing to disrupt global commerce, that can disrupt the entire system. So, these things are very complex. A workaday individual like me, not really having an inside understanding of it. I would say that, a lot of what takes place on the planet in terms of dealing with these people is very essential to keeping the planet moving along, man. Like think about it, Sharon. Right now in our airspace, there are probably thousands of planes, right? Could you imagine? Look at now again. I'm gonna go down. I hope this doesn't go down the conspiracy route, but assuming that it was Islamic terrorists, look at what they did on one day. Look at how they disrupted the airline industry. One day. Think about just one day, and think about they caused a global stoppage in the airline industry. Now, again, there might be people who may argue against me and say, oh, no, it was really the America. It was really the Jews. But I'm going to go with the assumption that it was these people. And so the thing is, man, I really,
right, and
I don't unconditionally support America, right? In terms of everything that America does. Maybe I should be clear.
Yes,
but
you should.
I really believe that what America has done and will continue to do is police this planet. Because at the end of the day, Sharon, we could go right back into the Stone Age.
CT, they're not policing the planet.
Yeah, we are. We are policing the planet because
the reason
Can
why
I
we
respond to this when
the
he's
reason
done?
why sure. Yeah.
The world policing part, I think that's more a cliche than it is actual. I also think that Trump is trying to steer America away from being the world police, which I'm kind of on the fence about. I'm not a sphere of influence guy. That's how we got world wars to begin with. I also want to point out to your Straits of Hormuz point, which I think is a good point, CT. 9 or 10 ships in the Iranian Navy were sunk, and the naval headquarters hit and I guess destroyed. So, that Straits of Hormuz thing is probably the most solid, reason that we could guess at. 20% of the world's oil, like 75% of Japan's oil comes through the Straits of Hormuz. That's how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll land there.
And I don't think we could say that we are world policing by attacking Iran, because we understand that we really did it for another country that's not necessarily beneficial to us at all. That's the issue that we have with this whole situation. The more answers that I got about this whole Iran thing, the more questions happen to appear. And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. And please make sure y'all hit the like and the share button. Shout out to Texas Doll from Twitter. Thank you so much.
Shout out. Yeah, Twitter is listening. Okay, so guys, this is really, really good. This conversation is awesome. I'm gonna take it all the way back. Once again, shout out Bomb, J Stanley. Okay, and I forgot who else is up here. I can't see y'all, but all y'all, hey. So back from the beginning of the show when Sharon mentioned everybody look over here while we're doing this over there. Those are crap. That's the strategy of war. I know you guys probably don't tune in, or you may be anti-Masonic. That's fine, whatever. I'm not, because I understand the assignments and understand the people that are needed to do what it is they do, and how this country was founded on by those particular men. And I also understand how they operate. I also understand that the orchestration, like when Sharon was saying, is like watching a movie. Like, what's next, coming up next in the United States, it's all the illusions. What they're doing is for us to just have something to talk about, the real things that are actually going on, what they're having to do to get the results, so that we still stand as America and that we remain untouchable. I don't even want to use that word, but we remain dominant. It's necessary. It's a necessary evil, and I get it. People not gonna like it, but you don't gotta like it, but you're gonna have to respect it. Sometimes it is a necessary evil that has to happen. We're not in the heavens, y'all. We're not in a place of God. We're on earth. We're in a place where all type of entities are going to exist and coexist with us. Great for us who are like against that and not going to support it. That being said, we can't do anything about those things except let the people know we see what you're doing. We don't have that. I know, I get it, but we don't have that authority to do anything about it. At best, be happy that at least you're in a country where we've got laws where if you're privy in your own circumference is something like that going on, you can do something about it. But on a global scale, some things are gonna fall under the crack, like what y'all mentioned about the arms dealers. They're gonna happen, and they're needed. They're actually criminal enterprises. They are needed. There are elite crimes going on. They're needed too. The entire system is functioning because of the things that had to be done, and just the way this country was. It was not built on good terms. It was built on blood. You all know the same with Rome. It's just like somebody saying, I don't like the Pope, I don't like the Vatican, I don't like what they do, but guess what? I bet you ain't finna do nothing about it. Not until the day comes. The Vatican not gonna fall. No one can take down the Vatican except for we know who, and that's all. No one can do that. That's the power that they have. In the same way with that, dang, I had a book, but I don't know where it is, and I will show you. And you can parallel that type of power and look at America and the things that are being done behind the veil that we're just not. We probably might not want to see. It might be too shocking for us to see what has to be done, what is done, and sometimes necessary evils that just take place. I'm great that you all are talking about it, understanding it, but I don't want us to be naive and actually thinking that it's going to change. Changes are coming. Not the change that you think's are coming. No, this is how our country was not on good things, not on heavenly order. Chaos. Blood, crime, usurping, destiny sway, you name it. And but this is where we live. So as long as you're living here and you want the benefits that come with being American, then you gonna have to get some thicker skin about some stuff. You're gonna have to get some thicker skin and say, well, dang, that sucks. Okay, well then you got a better idea. You want to go over, you want to try it elsewhere. And so when people say these things, I just wonder, what else you gonna do? What other options you got? Because unless you're gonna grow wings or transubstantiate into another type of animal or a creature and leave the planet, you here. And while you're here, you're gonna have to understand these things are gonna happen. They have been happening. They're gonna happen. Things are gonna get redacted just for us to have something to talk about. Meanwhile, the whole time, whatever really is going on, we'll never know. You're never going to know what's in the Vatican archive. There are things you're just not going to get access to. And I think some people are having a problem accepting that, wow, it's really our gatekeepers. We can't get in the door. No, you can't. You don't have the key. They're not going to let you in. There's nothing you can do. You can't infiltrate and get the information. And for those reasons alone is why we can able get on this dang on internet and speak and stream and talk and conversate with each other, because the benefits that come with being over here to be able to do this, and nobody's going to come over here and wipe Sharon off because he has an opinion about what he thinks going on. So sometimes, I mean, I just don't get where some people are. What do you expect to happen? What do you think the world we're going to turn into? What are your expectations? What are you expecting too much from people in power that they're doing what they're supposed to do and it doesn't look good? But guess what? I'm going to enjoy the benefits of being here because there's stuff that I like to do that I can't do over there in other places. Okay. I like having control of the things that I have. I like having the freedom of, I ain't got to walk around with my head all covered up, and I can wear a tankini, a sleeveless shirt, and not get murdered. I like the fact that I don't have to be beheaded for being caught reading my Bible in public. I enjoy these perks of this country. Necessary evils are going to happen. It was happening. It's been happening this way from the beginning of time. So I'm just trying to figure out where all the surprise is. Who's so really shocked when we done seen from every history angle, from going back Rome, going back Persia, going back biblical, going back Babylon, death happened, horrible things, the annihilation of for all the Christian people, the annihilation of entire people just wiped off because it got so bad. You know what? Let's not even try to fix it. Let's just take everybody out. Pompeii. I ain't even got to bring up Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, it's these things, they've been going on forever. So I'm just really wondering who's really shocked. Is this false outrage, or are y'all really surprised or outraged, or you just want to have great conversation? Because I'm not outraged. I'm not shocked. You know, this is the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun, and I digress on that.
Did you take any drugs today? Beachy?
No. What do you?
Okay. I was just wondering.
Why would I take drugs at all? What are you talking about? Is it the sunglasses because my eyes are burnt out from being the lights in there? What? You're not making any sense. Why would you even bring that into conversation and ask someone who's speaking very clear about taking any freaking drugs? What are you coming at? What is your issue, sir? Now I feel a type of way. Because where you at? Why don't you come on camera? Let me see what you got going on. What does drugs or narcotics or anything? What are you insinuating, sir? Say what you mean and mean what you say. You don't got to speak subliminally. So what
AR just has to say something every now and again. It's a form of Tourette's.
I'm still not following.
Also, let me shout out to the Cash App real quick. It said, should people stop resisting and accept things as is? Also, make sure y'all hitting that like and the share button. The link is pinned at the top. Anybody want to join the conversation and have their thoughts, everybody is welcome.
Yeah, Cuzzo. So I find it interesting, right, that the brother Stanley Cross, when he hit the link and joined your panel, he said that Brownsville and AR, they're being disingenuous with CT and they're questioning, right? And he says, well, hey, I thought
I didn't say
CT
disingenuous. I said ineffective.
Can you not interrupt me, sir, please?
I said what I said. Quote me correctly, son.
Just correct them after
Quote
you
me
finish.
correctly.
All right, just correct them after this. You know, sometimes words get a little missed, but just correct them after. Go ahead, cuz.
Now, cuz, if he does it again, I'm gonna need you to take care of it, okay?
Well, you know what? Let me just interrupt you now and drop down because I'm going to interrupt you when you misquote me, son.
Hey, Stanley got Tourette's.
Did you hear what I said? You can move on.
Yep.
I said what I said. Now you move on.
Y'all gotta
Move
stop.
on.
Hold on. Y'all gotta be able to have a conversation. It's no need to interrupt and correct somebody right as soon as they say something wrong. Allow the person to talk. If they get it wrong, correct it after. Stanley, please. Thank you. You don't need to jump in as soon as you hear one word wrong. Listen to the overarching point, please. We're having a very good discussion. There's no need to try to turn this into some goddamn
It was
BS
good
argument match
until
now.
Brownsville
Please,
came
it
in.
doesn't matter what you believe. I'm asking you to do something for me so we can move forward.
I will do it.
Thank you. Go ahead, Brownsville, finish your thought. And Stanley, you can respond after he fully finished, no matter what you disagree with. Please.
Or how long?
It doesn't matter.
See, this is an example, right, of these pseudo intellectuals that lack self-control and self-discipline. They want to come to your show and attempt to derail, right, and make it seem like they know what they're talking about. But then they get so emotional that they just have to speak when somebody simply mentions their name. That's a personal problem that you need to get fixed. Now, back to my point, right? When you hit your panel, Cuzzo, he mentioned me and AR. And me and AR didn't interject. We didn't interrupt. We didn't care what he had to say at the moment, right? Because we have discipline and self-control, and we understand how to control our emotions, right? That's called emotional regulation. So he said some things. He said, hey, well, Brownsville and AR was being disingenuous with CT. They're questioning of him. I didn't agree with. And I agree that CT did a good job on his 2 versus 1 battle, right? But CT espouse views that what makes one patriotic is when you express blind faith on your political leaders that are in charge, right? That's what CT's point was, right? And that's what me and AR was arguing against, right? But then when you ask Brother Stanley Cross the question, he agreed with us. So initially, he was just trying to be disagreeable just to be disagreeable because for some strange reason, I don't know this brother, but obviously he has a problem with me and I don't know his history with AR, but nevertheless, he didn't disagree with us. He just wanted to be disagreeable. And that's what I need my brothers to get out of that weak mentality, right? You don't have to like people if you agree with their talking points, if you agree with their conversation, right? Disagree with what you disagree with and agree what you agree with. That doesn't make you like them or dislike them. My brothers got to do a better job. And then we can have more cordial conversations and actually get to some solutions, right? Because blind faith in our political leaders is a dangerous ideology. Peace and love.
Stanley, would you like to respond?
Yeah, I'll make it short and sweet, unlike my honorable opponent. I think your questioning was ineffectual. I don't agree because they were nonsense points. I don't think you adequately addressed CT's argument because I don't think you and AR actually understood his argument. It's a total lack of knowledge. Y'all talk in talking points. You don't argue from actually understanding your own arguments. So no, I don't disagree. And then the other thing is, if you think my aim is to have a productive conversation with people like you and AR, you don't know me well. You definitely don't know my history. I don't suffer fools gladly. And you and AR, Brownsville, fit that bill. I don't suffer fools. So my argument was actually to come up, express my opinion, not necessarily to engage with you and AR. I don't debate. I only debate my equals, and neither of you are. That's a landing.
Is he done, Cuzzo?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's my point, right? He just admitted it, right? You know, he said, "Hey, I didn't come to have a debate with you because you aren't my equal," right? But the last time I checked, right, equal. If I wasn't his equal, he wouldn't be punching down, right? You never heard Michael Jordan in a conversation talk anything about Byron Scott, right? Because he didn't care nothing about Byron Scott and what he did, right? He was beneath him. But as soon as this brother hit the panel, he mentions who? Me and AR.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. He's double-minded. And you know, listen, I don't know why all these brothers are double-minded, but for some reason, that's what I bring out of them. They're double-minded ways. And my brother, you've shown yourself to be double-minded. And I'm gonna let you know, double-mindedness leads to instability. So you got a lot of things you need to fix and correct. Your lack of self-control.
Let me know
your
when I
lack
can
of
respond.
self-discipline,
No.
and your double-mindedness.
I'm gonna jump in. I want you to wait, sir. Because I'm gonna speak on this.
Oh no, another one.
Hold on, no, yeah, we got another one. Because on Sharon Bracey's show, we're pretty familiar with who does come up and who's not. We got Bomb up here. If I felt I was so above Bomb or she was beneath me, then why would I click a link and come up here and sit with her? If I felt that way about Brownsville AR or any other guests that come up here, then why are you here? So what I'm trying to understand, who put you on a pedestal to make you think you somewhere on some hierarchy that don't exist on this show?
Let me know when I can answer.
Then maybe you need to go to where you feel your equals are. Because if you're coming over to a place that you feel is lesser than you, something wrong in your head mentally. You done already asked me if I'm on something, what the sunglasses bother you. Little do you know, because you're not facing the camera. You're not facing the camera and the blinding lights that at some point start to irritate us when we come on frequently and on camera, bold and confident, something you can't do. Secondly, you just insulted this man by telling him he's not your equal, but you are up here with him. So what are you doing? Then why don't you go fly over there with the people who are on your level intellectually, and then you wouldn't have these issues of unequally yoked panel. Okay, so why are you here then if you are so above everybody on the panel?
He's here because he gets 3 viewers on his channel.
Okay, here's my response. I made no comment about your sunglasses. I have no clue who you are. So let's start there.
Let's start with you didn't have a clue.
Why would I care about your sunglasses?
About some substances.
Why are you interrupting? I didn't interrupt you. To the other two, I also mentioned CT. Y'all seem to have forgotten that CT was part of my initial reason for coming up here. As I said before, I don't necessarily agree with CT's argument, the America right or wrong. However, I could follow his argument because maybe it's because I'm more familiar with his argument, but I am he left intellectual breadcrumbs, to use a phrase. I don't think the people questioning CT did the same thing. They were talking from a script. They weren't thinking, they were repeating. That's why I came up. Just to say that, nothing more.
All right, and also, so it was AR that mentioned it wasn't Stanley, it was AR that actually mentioned the drugs and the glasses. AR, would you like to address it properly, because she was addressing it towards.
I think that was Stanley that said that.
And I do, if I got the person wrong, I apologize.
No, it wasn't.
Beachy, I think you got the person right.
I got you.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they lying to you, Beachy.
It's hard when I can't see y'all. See, y'all, when I'm talking, y'all ain't got to worry with the Bomb or Beachy, because you see Bomb doing Bomb on the camera, and you see me being me. We ain't got confusion. I can see Sharon, and I can see Titan. Shout out. But for those of you who we can't see you moving in real time, you got a partner. If we get confused with who's doing who good, that's why
I forgive you. I forget. It was 100% Stanley that said that.
Sure. When we cam up, we don't got to worry about who said what and how it was done. You can see it face to face. What I say, you ain't got to question it. So I apologize, but not for real apology, okay? Because I can't see you. I need you to be direct.
Good luck with me, Cam.
Okay, all right. So do y'all want to get back into the conversation? Y'all just want to troll? I'm confused now.
I'm with you, Sharon. I'm mute up. You guys, the conversation at hand. Thank you for getting us together because we was deviating.
Because if we are going to have this always have a conversation, right, about that we don't want to have that conversation, and then the very people that are saying they want to have these conversations are the ones derailing it. It's crazy to me. That don't make no damn sense. I see Shadow, you got back on camera. Do you want to add anything to the actual topic, or are you just in the moment relaxing?
No, I'm ready. So, me and Brownsville got into it earlier, kind of with the initial statement. I've reviewed what CT said, and I agree with CT, ironically. There's a few points where I can deviate from, like just because I don't care about Trump as a person doesn't mean that I don't respect him as the president of the United States, which I'm American as a whole. I don't care about none outside of, hey, if it's to protect America, to help America grow, or to help America reach its fundamental greatness, I don't care what it takes. I want it done. And if that means turning Iran into a glass desert, if that means melting Russia into another ocean, I don't care. As long as at the end of the day, America is done.
So, but the problem is, nobody is able to give any examples of how he is doing that in a way that is going to help America. Only thing that we are seeing is helping another country in the Middle East that doesn't help us at all. It shows that we have Americans dying on that have boots on the ground. We have airplanes being blown out the sky by so-called friendly fire. That's millions of dollars. Whenever we do go to wars over there, we take a bunch of equipment over there and then we just leave it there. It is nothing but money being pushed out into the desert, and we don't get nothing back. That is the issue that we keep having with this whole Middle East, the peace in Middle East.
I got a question for Shadow, right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, my brother?
Yes.
So you
Yes,
just espoused a view, right? That you said, I don't care about the person, Donald Trump. I care that he's the president, right? And my question to you, my brother, is do you believe that someone's ideology can influence their decision making? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that is why you should care about the person, right? Because if this person has a flawed ideology, if this person is engaging in nefarious activities that's unbecoming of a leader, right? Then we have to understand that they could be consequences based upon his decision making. His decision making at that point can become flawed, correct?
That's fair. No, I can agree with that too.
Right. So this is why I want you and CT and other MAGA supporters to get out of the idea that you need to have blind faith with Donald Trump just because he's the president. That doesn't make you more patriotic. That just kind of makes you look foolish. Peace and love.
Pause. Okay, bet. So you got to understand, even when it came to Biden, which even if I didn't like what he did, I still agreed with his decisions because he was still my president. Regardless of who the president is, we as a country chose to elect this person to lead the country primarily as the commander-in-chief. So if Trump is making a decision, whether I fully agree with it or not, keep in mind, I agree with what we're doing in Iran for a multitude of reasons. But even above all that, and Sean, I'll get back to that because you did ask that question, so I'll answer you in a second. But Brownsville specifically, it's not blind faith, it's blind respect. Because I'm going to respect his position. I'm going to respect his position as the commander-in-chief, just like I did with Biden, just like I did with Trump the first time. Keep in mind, we can't keep trashing Trump on it because not only has he been president, he's been president now twice. Again, it's clearly there's a reason for it. Whether we agree with that reason or not, he's still the president. Epstein files, again, if we're going to talk about Epstein, we'll talk about Epstein. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what's happening in Iran and do I agree with it? I just found out about 15 minutes ago, my brother is on his way to Iran now. He's in the Navy. I'm not happy about that, but guess what? I understand what's going on, and I support his station. It is what it is.
And what I need you to do, my brother, real quick, is look up what blind respect actually means, right? Because then you'll find out. Just go simple examining the definition of what you said you believe in, right? You'll find out that the majority of people that show that blind respect are also doing it because of fear, right? Doing it because of just blind obedience, right? Because you don't want to challenge authority or question authority, right? So you gotta be careful with what you're saying, because you're making yourself look like you and other people shouldn't matter, and their thoughts and their however they believe that the world should go. It shouldn't matter, because whoever the leader is, you gotta follow the leader, right? And with that type of ideology, right, people of North Korea will stay in bondage. The people
Can I respond to that
in
when he's done?
Iran can stay in bondage, etc., right? Blind respect should not have a place in American politics, right?
It's literally
Because
un-American.
as AR articulated, right? This country was founded on debate, on, hey, I have this thought, you have that thought, and let's see if we can find some middle ground here so that we can come to a more logical conclusion, right? And what you just expressed is we gotta have blind respect because we are in fear, or we should just be obedient to authority just because. That's dangerous. Peace and love.
All right, so wait, sure. Can I go ahead and address that?
So Shadow and Stanley both want to address what Brownsville said. So we're gonna let Shadow and Stanley both address Brownsville. Got it.
Okay, so Brownsville, here's the thing. Blind respect is deferred specifically towards figures of authority. And there's a multitude of reasons for that, not simply related to fear. First and foremost, again, this man we do have the ability to vote the people that also agree with us in. But here's the thing. If the person who does win is against what I believe, that does not mean I should respect them any less. I still have to respect them because they still got their position of authority rightfully. And you have to understand, with that position of authority, there is a basis of respect that must come with it. Because at the end of the day, I have to respect you enough to make decisions on my behalf. That's why positions of authority matter. That's why hierarchy matters. That's why when you're the CEO of a company and you're actually running the company, the respect needs to be there, because if the people under you don't respect you, your company will bury with you, because you have to have respect in order to give your orders and commands. And so unfortunately, Trump is the commander in chief. It's not a MAGA point of view. It's a real point of view about respect. I don't care who the respect is to. Like in this case, even in this panel right now, Sharon's a position of authority right now. If there's something going on, and I will give respect to Sharon above everybody else on the panel. Not that I'm saying I will disrespect y'all, but I will ultimately give, again, respect to, I will give that same respect to Sharon. Because in this situation, that blind respect, because he's the president here. Just saying. It's a universal view.
You don't gotta like Sharon, but as long as you're gonna respect him, as long as you're here. That's a nice way of saying it. Well said, Josh.
But you
that's cool.
Hold on, cuz, so they both wanted to address you. Go ahead, Stanley.
Let me address one at a time.
Hold on, so this way you could address both of them one time. Go ahead, Stanley. So this way he could.
I want to make sure that we separate the argument that that I'm going to critique here from the person. I want to say that outright. I think the argument that Brownsville used, the argument that Shadow made, it was essentially an ad hominem attack. Okay, this is the perfect example of why I came up here in the first place. these guys do not know how to make an argument. Okay. You're essentially criticizing the man's character when you say blind allegiance and ideology and stuff. You gotta attack the argument. This is to Brownsville. I found his response to Shadow ineffective. I'm not criticizing the man, I'm criticizing the argument.
But
Okay. That you good there?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Brownsville. Willie, wait your turn. I got you. I'm gonna bring you in. Go ahead, cuz.
Yeah, so obviously, my brother Stanley Cross, he isn't paying attention to the discussion, right? Because if he was paying attention to the discussion, he would have heard Shadow say he believed in blind respect, right? So that's to his point. So his point is pretty much irrelevant because he didn't hear Shadow say that, right? So now back to Shadow's point. Shadow, I believe we should have blind respect for the office of the President of the United States, not the person who is occupying the office. The person who is occupying the office, they have to earn respect based upon their decision making and their policy, right? And if we find out and examine that their decision making or policy making is flawed, then we have a right to say, no, we don't support that, right? So I think you have it confused. The blind respect should go to the office, not the person. Peace and love.
Clear.
and the reality is that
Go ahead. Let people finish their conversations. People, please stop trying to just join in on conversations that's not involved in you. Wall Street Willie, I said I would bring you in, let them finish their conversation.
My bad.
Let them finish
Okay.
it, and then we open it back up to where just go ahead, Shadow.
Okay, Brownsville. So I get what you're saying, but I think it's not what I'm saying. I'm actually still talking about the office because that person was elected by the people. He, regardless of if you agree or support Trump or not, he is still our president. Whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's Rick James or Charlie Murphy, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the man is still the president, and we, as a collective, will still have to respect his decisions, whether we're going to cry about it or not. At the end of the day, we can still say, you know what, I don't really like the way he's doing that, but guess what? He still has the position to do it. That position, the presidency, is an important position on the world stage. We're talking Iran now. I support his decision because I understand the logic behind it. I understand if you want to stop an enemy, stop them now. And the way he did the attack, that's how I would have resolved. Okay, bet. Hey, we gave you a warning. You ignored our warning. Hey, I'll turn you into glass next time. And instead of threatening it for the next 20 years, he just did it. Keep in mind. Wait, hold on. Keep in mind, he had a bunch of people. This wasn't just a snap decision he made. He actually had discussions with people of both parties for 3 days before he pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, but the problem is there's no clear understanding of why he's over there and why he's doing what he's doing. This
Sean, I can
regime
respect
change war so the regime change war doesn't make sense for us over here in America.
But that doesn't make any sense, Sean, because it does. If their regimes, and again, this is me speaking strictly from as a one civilian and two, somebody who actually sees what's happening right now. If someone is a threat to me or any other American, then
Pause
it is.
there.
Wait.
What is
Okay.
the threat? So that's the problem. Now, people keep saying there's a threat, but it is no proof of any threat that Iran had on the American people.
I'm going to use the smallest threat, and you can call it petty, but you burn our flag and say death to America, I have a feeling, I have issues with that. You crowdfund terrorism as a whole across the world, I have an issue with that. You are specific, you as the leader of Iran are specifically tied with multiple terrorist groups.
That's
Hold
fine.
on.
So,
You
but hold
asked
on.
the question.
Right, I am. So, but I'm going by off what you're saying. So, you do understand that over here in America, if you burn a flag, there's nothing illegal against that.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
America is saying death to America is nothing illegal about that.
Fair. Okay. I don't.
Okay, so now
We're
you
not
can't
arguing
use
legality.
all right, so
Yeah,
but
no, I
the
can't.
problem is you're using those two things, which is legal here, to go ahead and blow up another country where we don't have no law jurisdiction at all, but yet in your own country that is allowed in your own country.
And here's where consequentialism comes in. Just because you say, if you look at me and say, I hope you die, I could be the nice American and say, you know what, I feel some kind of way about that, but you have the right to say that. Or I could be my type of American, I'm gonna hit you in your shit. Because I take that as a threat. You threaten me verbally, I'm threatening you physically. And that's how now you understand how I see what happened. They threatened us verbally in mass. We responded physically, saying F around and find out then. Eventually, people are going to learn to stop making threats you can't back up.
That is
I say this.
wild. So that is wild to say.
I
So-
say it a lot. I'm like, I fight well. I don't care who you are. You might whoop me, but if I have to, I'll delete you because I'm not going for a round two. Because I will take the threat off the board. I have to take the threat off the board. I have kids.
For their words.
not gonna
You
play
say-
that
Can I
game.
respond to that?
This is just a wild. It's just wild to hear in real time that we're saying that people need to be taken out because of their words. This is America where that's one of the main things that we have, that you have a right to protest, you have the right to say things, right? You have a right to communicate. As long as it's not going to, you can't say fire inside of a movie theater type of situation, right? We understand what's the level. So let's make sure we have a understanding of what we talking about. Let's not try to pick out the BS that we are not talking about, right? We don't need to talk about screaming out fire in a movie theater. We understand the point of the conversation. Please, I do not want to get into semantics for no reason, right?
No,
So,
it's not meta. It's not a meta conversation.
Hold on. No, so do not bring in no fire in a movie theater. We ain't talking about that.
Can I address?
Okay,
the
why can't you yell
terrorist
bomb in the
threat right
airport?
quick?
Because it is a
Because,
threat.
because it's not relevant, but what I'm saying, that's not relevant to the conversation, right? Because those people over there protesting, whatever they protesting, doesn't have, we allow protests here, is what I'm saying. So
Yes.
now we cannot be mad because they protested. Also, if them saying that, hey, death to America doesn't actually mean kill citizens. We understand what they are actually saying. They're not saying kill human beings.
Yes, it does.
What?
They're not subject to
Shimon,
U.S.
what the-
law.
Hold up, I need to
so
send you
hold
my.
on. We got two people that's saying that. So we do
I'll be back.
understand that America is a philosophy and an ideology and all these other things, democracy and all these other things. It doesn't mean kill Americans. It doesn't mean death to Americans as humans.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
when they
even if it did,
which
though,
you conveniently
they're not-
ignored. That's
what-
what that means. When you say death to America and then you send money to terrorist groups to blow
America.
up. Yeah, when you say death to America and then you send money to terrorist groups to blow up Americans, then that's what that means.
Right.
Let
So
me-
now you
let
have
me
to go
address
after those
that
people that
legal
hold on.
point.
So now this is the problem why we can't conflate everything to. So now we have to have that conversation about the people that is doing that. We cannot say the whole unless you are saying, let me get this right.
But we're talking
Are you
about the
saying
regime.
The whole country. We saying the whole country is doing that.
We're talking about the regime.
It's leadership did it.
and
Okay,
regime,
so now we're
and
talking about-
regime supporters.
Okay. So now the regime. So are we saying we have proof that the regime is doing that?
Yes.
We have it on
Okay.
camera.
It's okay. I don't know why y'all think this is an argument. I'm trying to get more knowledge of the situation because, like I said earlier, the more I look into it, the more questions I have.
That's right.
So
I'll send you the
need
video
my
right
friends-
now.
I need y'all to understand that I ain't trying to fight with none of y'all. So this
Well-
way we can have the conversation so we can actually get real thoughts out instead of trying to have a who's right. I don't give a fuck who's right. I'm trying to have an understanding so I can make my own assessment of what is the right thing and what's not.
Well, I think that the terroristic threat is something that you hear, it's against the law in the United States. Holding a whole nother culture subject to American values, I don't think that works. I think you're right, Sharon. Death to America doesn't mean death to Americans.
Thank you. Let me also welcome into the. I don't even understand how they correlate that. That's just kind of wild to me. Welcome into the show. Good day, Supreme Vaginal Vessel. How you doing today?
Wonderful. How y'all doing?
What is your thoughts?
Well, I guess the question I have is, if America dies, then what happens to you?
So what happens is the same thing like in the Civil War when they had they fight, right? Things change. Politics change. New constitution change. It's a whole bunch of different things will change. Not necessarily Americans dying. I think that's the problem that we're having with the correlation. Most people don't. People are more just afraid of change than actual people dying.
Huh?
Well,
People are more afraid of change than people actually dying. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead,
but
Diva.
the thing, so it would be a much more extreme change than the change that occurred during the Civil War, right? Just because, like, those people were still from the same culture in the same country. They were fighting against each other. But now, if you're fighting against somebody from a totally different culture, religion, whatever, the change is going to be very different.
Right. So, but the change doesn't mean that we have to follow what they're doing.
Yes, you do.
No, it does not.
Because who is
And the
going
reason
to?
why that the reason doesn't mean that we have to follow what they're doing, because it could simply mean that we get rid of all of the corrupt people that is in our country, the way how it was supposed to be, the drain the swamp, so to speak.
You think Iran has
Wait a
the
minute.
Hold on, I'm talking to
So
you. Hold
you
on, I'm talking to
think-
Diva. Hold on.
Wait,
Yeah.
so those, even given the way they treat each other around them parts, and you think that they gonna come and deal with you in a soft gloved way?
So again, I'm not talking about them winning and taking over the country. I don't know why that is a confusion.
Because that's what
So
they're, who do you think they trying to say kill it?
if our government changes their corruptness, that doesn't mean another country we're going to now all turn into an Islamic
no,
state. No,
but
so what I'm
that's
saying
not
that
what
if we're
Death to
supposed to
America
be draining the
means.
swamp, and we're supposed
That's
to be
not
draining
what
the
Death
swamp,
to
then let it.
America mean.
Yes, it does, because
It
the
don't mean
problem
no
is that
damn drain the swamp. Why the fuck
problem
they give
is
why they give a
the
damn
problem
about
is
the
there's
swamp?
way too much
That's
corruption
crazy.
going on. This is the reason why we can't get the goddamn Epstein
Them
files and all
people
this bullshit
corrupt
ass Pizzagate.
themselves.
It does. What you
Right,
saying?
and
Diva?
so you saying that they saying death to America because of the corruption when they over
Yes.
there doing the same shit? Okay, that don't even make sense.
I don't know how that doesn't make sense. That's
That
what that's
doesn't
what the
make
argument
sense.
is, because they want to be left alone. We deal with our shit. Leave those other countries alone.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But because I'm not, for going and fucking with people to begin with. But my whole thing is I came in on the point where it was death to America, and it don't mean death to Americans. But if they say all of this shit got to die, I don't think, do you know what death means? It's not going to be a changing of the guard and a draining of the swamp. It's got to die.
So I don't understand what's your argument. So do you believe in the way how the politics is over here is not corrupt?
That I'm not even addressing that. I don't know.
But that's what I'm talking
Right.
towards.
I'm just talking
Okay.
about when I came in, you were saying death to America doesn't mean that. And I'm saying, yeah, it most certainly does. It most
means
certainly does.
right. So
They don't
I'm
want
saying
any
that
of
it
this shit
means
to survive.
right, because we know Iran cannot do anything to this actual land. They want to do something to the philosophy of what America is portraying, right? And what they are actually doing. Those are two different things. We portray
Why
to
they
be
can't do
this
nothing to
moral
the land?
situation, but we are not being moral. Just the same way how CT Kevin saying that we dealing on both sides of it. We sell, we make technology for ourselves, then we go sell it to our goddamn enemy that we actually shooting, and then they shoot us back. So again, when we're talking about death to America, we talking about the corrupt politics that is going on here. The same way how Browns were brought up earlier, that Donald Trump's children, they also invested in the same exact drones that is used as weaponry. That is the problem. Not that they are invested in drone technology, but the technology that they invested in is the same one that's used to hurt Americans.
Wait, who said death to America?
This is just the argument that these people are that Shadow and AR are saying.
The supreme leader of
I
Iran,
thought somebody actually
Diva,
had said
the
that.
supreme leader
I
of
thought that actually came from somewhere. Shut up,
No, that
Shadow.
does
it
come.
did.
That
No, it's in the
does come
chat.
somewhere, Diva.
He said that
No,
for real.
don't let
They
Sharon
talking about in the
gaslight you. It's in
they
the
talking
chat.
about in translation. That's what it's saying. Okay, so but they don't have an argument about what is being said about America versus Americans. They are conflating those two things because one is talking about death to America's ideology, but what they're trying to translate the ideology part into actual human beings. That is the problem that we are having, and then this is why they are justifying dropping bombs on places that is supposedly military. We know those are civilian places that we drop bombs on, but they trying to act as if Iran is dropping bombs on civilians and United States are not, because they want to live in a delusion.
So Sharon came
Bro,
on.
you're just making shit up.
Came on here.
You made
because-
all
the
that
regime,
up.
hold on. And this regime war, it did not change 10, 20, 30 years ago when we went to Iraq, and it's not changing now.
Okay.
Because
so-
guess what? They killed the supreme
'cause we
leader.
pulled
Now
back
his
on
son took. Hold on, and then now his son took over. Y'all gotta calm down. Y'all want to get our chance to talk.
Why do you think that we want to hear you cape for people that chant death to America and then say nobody actually said that? Nobody wants to hear you say that shit. Nobody wants to hear you cape. Okay, Diva.
That's right. You
yes,
literally mixed it up.
death to America. On multiple occasions, they've been saying it since like the 70s and 80s. Sharon's like, oh, they're just saying it because, you know, they don't like that we're over there. Just ignoring the fact that they literally fund terrorist groups to blow up Americans. So they chant death to America at rallies and then send money to terrorists to blow Americans up. They chant death to Israel at rallies, and then they send money to Hezbollah and Hamas and tell them to go blow up Israelis. So when you put two and two together, instead of just, you know, well, they said some words, who cares? And you actually look at what their actions are behind those words, we know that it's not just the idea of America, which even if you wanted to go with that, if they hate the idea of America, they don't want America to exist. They don't like Christian values.
Can
They
I
don't like
ask a
Christianity.
question to
They
him?
don't like democracy.
Come on, y'all.
They've stated no Muslim country has a democracy. No Islamic is under Sharia law, democracy is not compatible. So don't say, oh, they just say death to America and they just don't like us going over there. No, they hate most of what America stands for. Under
And we
Islamic
seen-
law, you have to die, convert, or pay a tax. And that's just for Jews and Christians. Atheists, they get their heads cut off. Anybody else that isn't one of those three followers, they're gone.
Okay. And so now when we have
So I'm not done. We listened to you, Kate. We listened to you, Kate, for 20 minutes talking about, oh, it's just this, it's just that, blah blah blah, the other bullshit.
Hold on. That's
I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to Diva.
Hold on.
For
That's
what?
fine that you-
I'm not
hold
done
on.
talking. Hold on
That's
for
fine.
what? I'm not done talking.
Hold on. Just relax. So we understand that you're accusing those things. So now
Are you
what do
gonna
you
Kate
say?
more?
Now what do you say about Donald Trump kids that is invested in all this technology that is killing Americans?
Okay, we're not switching
Yeah,
the
can I
topic
jump
now.
in there?
So again,
Hold
and then
on. I don't
you
understand why
said,
it's so hard to just have it. I'm not trying to fight
Bro,
with you.
you
I'm
said-
trying to have a
I'm about to
conversation.
address that right now.
You
I'm about to address
repeating
that right
yourself.
now.
Hold
I'm
on.
about to
You
address that
repeating
right now.
yourself. Hold on.
You said you're not trying to fight, and then you sit here and say, "Oh, they want to believe in these
because I'm trying to
delusions."
direct the conversation so people can understand.
It's not a conversation, and you're not trying to fight when you sit here and say, "Oh, they want to live in delusions. Oh, they want to do this. Oh, they don't know how to comprehend this." Those are fighting words. You are trying to argue. So don't say you aren't.
All
when you
right, so
sit
then
there and-
direct the conversation to what your argument is. Stop
Okay.
everybody stop trying to jump in, please. Like y'all gonna do better. It makes the conversation more difficult. Please. Allow everybody to have their full conversation. Please stop trying to jump in. Everybody will get a chance to respond.
That's pretty much it.
So
Diva.
now,
your question.
now for the people that is in America that do the exact same thing, that is getting Americans killed, that is destroying America. What are you saying about those people? That's the problem. That is the problem that's not getting addressed.
What happens to the Americans getting Americans killed? Is that what you just asked? What happens to those people that support terrorist organizations that blow up Americans? Was that the dumbass question you asked?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, Sharon.
For some reason, I don't know what is the problem with people just communicating.
No, the problem, Cuzzo. So we seen Death to America turn into Death to Americans just the other day in Austin, Texas, right? As a response to the Operation Fury, we saw a brother from Senegal walk into a bar, right, and apparently took out some folks who were Americans, right? And now they're investigating it as a terrorist act, right? So, yeah, I have to agree with AR and Shadow. When those people over there say death to America, they do mean death to Americans.
This is crazy to me. They literally do things that take out our own people here. Literally,
We not
two of our,
denying that.
huh?
We not denying that.
But they are. They
we're
literally
not.
are. They are trying to use that. They trying to use the example of these foreigners saying whatever they saying.
PhD, but that's you.
Death to America.
Hey, Bob.
It's not a complicated sentence.
So
These foreigners, no. We're gonna stop this BS. We're gonna
okay,
stop
so
this
now,
gaslighting
okay,
that
so
you're
now,
doing. Because what you're doing is you're playing games with people's intelligence.
So I need to
That's not
understand-
cool.
Like
That's
y'all,
not
y'all,
cool.
not really,
That's not
y'all
cool.
don't understand what y'all only use it as example when you hear somebody from somewhere else say it, right? And I get it.
We
guess
are the
what?
Americans that they would be killing, bro. What the fuck are you
So
talking
the
about?
same very people that you are promoting, they say it here. They want to destroy Americans, literally.
America's fucking over
Literally,
Americans,
they've been
we
doing
can
it.
handle.
Since
Other
Donald
people-
Trump hold on. Since Donald Trump got in office, he's been destroying Americans, literally.
That's facts.
This man can't
Literally.
keep a conflation to save his life.
Yes.
Jesus effing Christ.
Hold on.
What
does that
fuck does that have to do with the
Hold on,
president in China? I got two left.
hold on. I just need y'all to answer what I'm saying instead of trying to keep. Oh, he's not doing this. Oh, he's just answer what the F I am saying.
Do the same then.
I've been. Y'all just not comprehending.
Me,
That's why I gotta
Diva,
go through-
Brownsville,
Listen,
AR,
the
all
reason-
said the
hold
same
on,
thing.
and again,
and you didn't
now you
understand
want
that.
to argue instead of arguing what I said. You want to argue about the conversation about what we said, right? You want to go?
No,
to,
I'm-
I just made a statement. Address that statement.
Bet.
What was the
The
statement?
conversation you just, Sean, can you
Yeah,
repeat your
Diva.
statement?
Damn, I gotta open this up. God damn. Oops.
Tensions are high. Bomb done stabbed herself over there. Shadow is having a emotional moment. Sharon's trying not to laugh, although I see it in his spirit. He is over there trying to conceal his comedic
Is that you,
spirit.
BG? You looking so
Yeah.
cute to me. How you doing, sis?
Hey, Bob. It's a lot going on right now, you guys. But we're going to get through this show. Everyone is respectful. We're going to let Shadow get his his rage together so that he does not rip off Sharon's head. We are going to do this very well so that people can see as Black folks. We know how
Just
to get
remember,
together
me and
in
Rosa Parks,
conversation.
we're in the back of the bus. Walk through Willie and Rosa Parks.
And
we're
then
in the
those
back
in
of
the
bus.
audio, yeah, I'm sorry, we just gonna have to hear them as they talk in because we can't,
Go ahead,
And
Willie.
someone got a question. AR, where's AR? Are they still there?
I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and give the
I'm
statement
right,
again.
I'm right here.
I give the
Oh,
statement
man.
back.
AR,
I'm
I
here.
Ready to give
No.
a statement again.
Yeah, now when someone got a question for AR, now he want to give a statement.
I don't understand what's going. I don't understand. So,
AR, I think some people from the Twitter other side are listening to you, and they do not seem to be impressed nor in favor of your commentary and your opinion. So just let that be noted for the record. They think that you don't sound very
I don't
verse.
care what they think.
So,
I thought it was gonna be. I
Yeah,
thought
before
it was
we
gonna be
give an
something
opinion
uplifting
on
me. You
AR,
give me this negative news. I don't care what they listen.
Can I
I don't
jump
care
in
what
there?
them negative Nancy's say, man. Only come to me with positive news. If they not supporting me, then they're wrong.
well, that's I'll be sure to let them know that.
All right, so let's let's get it back into perspective. Let's read a couple of super chats. You there, Diva?
I'm here. Hold on. Let me see. I can't have C though. All right, Black. All right, Black. $5. Israel should pull itself up by their bootstraps and stop looking for handouts from America. Agreed.
Agreed.
What did it say? Lucy
Popcorn.
McIver. Huh?
Oh, you keep reading. Okay, got it. I'm sorry.
Ducey McIver, 1368, $5. He got his popcorn ready. Shadow the Titan Wasp, $10. Ready. Aaron to Lucas, $2. So whose government would you rather live under? Kulu live streaming, $369, $5. When Charlie Kirk died, you had thousands of MAGA wanting to unalive Democrats. There are more Americans unaliving Americans than Iran has ever did.
Bar.
I mean, it's not really a bar. Like, it's called proximity.
No.
So, of course, Americans going to kill more Americans. Aaron to Lucas, $5. You think Iran cares about our corruption or our way of life and structure? They corrupt too, right? They just killed 3,500 of their own people last month. I thought it was 20,000.
No, they killed more. They killed about 30,000 by some
Was
reports.
this per capita? You know, I just want to throw that out there. Is this the per capita? Was this per capita? Because you know that's what everybody just say over there on the other side when they don't really want to break it down. Is this the per capita on the numbers that you guys are giving? I'm just
a lot of numbers. It don't matter if it's per capita.
No,
So the per
sis,
capita
this is a one for
community,
one.
the
When
per capita
someone dies
community would
at a
like to know
protest,
that.
it's a one for one. Has
No,
nothing to do
yeah,
with
they
per
killed like
capita.
30,000.
One
And
person
to
died
Diva-
equals one dead person.
To Diva's
Has
point
nothing to do.
about the proximity thing, or to that Kulu super chat, what happens when an American kills another American? We go after them, and they get locked up, or they get executed. So you bringing that up and saying that's a bar? Yeah, it kind of is a bar because you're saying, because Shadow is saying we should do these things to them if this happens, and you're saying, well, it happens over here. What do we do to them? Well, let's look at what happens to the people that kill people over here. They get locked up.
Okay, so you missed the whole point. Hold on. You missed the whole point. He's saying people in America are preaching that people should die because of the words that they are saying.
Are those? And again, it's like I don't know if you have.
So do you agree with that part?
Comprehension issue or what? Because it's not just they only chant words. It's they fund terrorist groups to then blow up Americans. So are those ones that are saying death to other Americans? Are they then funding terrorist groups to execute Americans?
Yes, they call the Republican MAGA Party, literally.
Oh, okay. So which terrorist group are they funding to execute Americans? To blow up Americans?
They are literally destroying.
Okay, just dumbass.
Like I'm confused. So are we saying that? Are we not understanding that they are literally destroying America from the inside by selling, by using the tariffs, destroying America, by taking away jobs from Americans, by giving schooling to other countries? We understand that all those things are destroying Americans, correct?
Not answering the question. What terrorist group have they funded to blow up Americans?
I just gave you the
No,
example.
you just said, well, they have different policies that I disagree with, and I think that it goes bad and this, that, and the other.
Well, I'm saying
No,
the
it doesn't work
comprehension
like that.
problem, right? So, because you just don't want to agree
problem is you.
that Republicans and MAGA supporters are the terrorist group.
No, there's a difference between having different
Right,
policies.
that's your opinion, and I'm fine with that. But now I'm giving you an example of why I'm saying they are and what they have done to Americans. You are just negating that whole point because it's not literally proven. It's not because you're saying that it's not literally.
Because
stop interrupting, please.
You just interrupted me while I was talking.
No, I did not. You asked the question.
And then you answered. I said you're not answering the question. That's not a funding.
You asked the question, and I'm trying to clarify why you want to make it literal. And this is when we know when people are just not being into an honest conversation where you want it to be literal.
Okay. We can do both. You can be literal and you can do metaphorically. So let's
so
talk.
if we
You
going,
can't
okay,
talk
fine.
both,
If
and
we
that's the problem.
going, fine. If we going by literal, the Republican Party is just a Republican Party. Fine.
Okay, all right. So now let's go metaphorically. Oh, well, you know, they have this policy over here that I disagree with, and I think there's some negative outcome to some Americans. Therefore, they're a terrorist group harming Americans. That dumbass logic. You want to equate funding school. Let's just take this for example, because you said they're funding schools elsewhere. You want to take them potentially. That's not what you said. Okay, what did you say?
This is the problem.
We can take the tariff. Sure, we can take the tariffs. That dumbass argument too. You want to equate tariffs to blowing Americans up, and this is the issue.
Yeah. You know,
the left. This is the issue that the left has
in America is destroying families. Like,
yeah, the price. Yeah, how many Americans have died because of the price of milk?
It's oh my God.
We said,
and it's when we know that you're not having that honest conversation.
Okay, so how many Americans have died because? How many Americans have died because of tariffs?
If you want, I could bring up the stats of how many people are dying from starvation in America. That's what you would like. Well, that's what we are going to equate it to. We're going to equate it to starvation. So go ahead.
I beat my kids for wasting milk, just for the record. If they
Has America worked towards getting rid of starvation?
Clearly not.
Clearly not. Okay, so
around
how
the
many
world,
people were starving to death 70 years ago?
what was the question?
How many people 70 years ago were starving to death versus now? Has it decreased? Yeah, ain't God good?
Hey,
has less people starved to death today than 70 years ago? Is there less absolute poverty today than there was 70 years ago?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so and that's with both Republicans and Democrats having been in office. Therefore, America as a whole is working against those things. It's working to get rid of those things. Correct? Now,
So
has
the-
Iran
Hold on. So the
continued-
problem is we're not
I'm not
talking about
holding on, I'm
America.
not done.
Hold on. We're not talking about America as whole. This is why y'all not having a conversation. Y'all just saying shit. Right?
No,
I
it's
said
because
I said something very specific, and then now you trying to turn it into the general of the whole America.
Okay.
And I don't
You said-
understand
did
what
you-
is the
did you say
problem with just
Republicans?
listening to what I'm saying. So you, instead of trying to be right, and instead what you should be doing is have a conversation to what I am saying, instead of trying to turn the conversation into the whole of America and say how majority of us are doing okay. So therefore, it's ridiculous.
It's just because you don't
Have
like
a very
listening.
specific
You just didn't
conversation.
want to listen.
Don't
Crash
turn it
out,
into a
Shalom.
general conversation.
Sean, you're literally not
It's a
listening to
general
what he's saying.
conversation as you say Republicans / MAGA, which are completely different things. Republicans have been here since what? The 1800s? Correct? So Republicans and MAGA are different things. If you want to talk about MAGA only, then you need to say MAGA only. Don't bring it up. Don't say a generalized statement and then get upset when someone addresses the generalization.
I literally made it specific.
You didn't, because then you started listing policies. Tariffs have been here for a while. The mass tariffs that Trump is doing is different than what has gone on in the past, but tariffs have been here a while. Republicans have been here for a while. Their policy of less taxes, less government assistance has been their bedrock for a very long time. So it's not just, the past 4 years or the past year or the past 8 years that you're talking about. You're talking about you're making a general statement about Republicans as a whole.
No, I'm not making a general.
That's the issue, is that you don't know what you're saying and you just say it.
No, you are saying a whole bunch
Okay.
of words that have nothing to do
That
with
you don't
what I'm
understand.
saying.
Okay, got
Because
it.
what I'm talking about is
keep it
tariffs
slower
that
for you.
literally affected Americans, like how it affected the farming industry,
Okay.
how it took billions of dollars out of our own nation, and how farmers are losing they companies. They have to close down their farms and then they go ahead and sell it to other countries.
Are you saying that the
The
tariffs?
fact that I was talking about Americans starving because they can't afford to. I do not understand when people cannot have a very focused conversation. They want to jump back to the surface level to make themselves look right. And it's okay for you not to have the comprehension skills, the information, the knowledge, whatever that is that you are missing, to say, I did not know that. Let me go ahead and research that. And it's okay, because I do it all the time.
Why do you keep attacking me?
This whole conversation.
It's funny, isn't it, Shep? He's not here to fight. Yeah, he keeps on attacking.
Today, this whole
And
conversation.
getting upset when he gets
because
attacked.
Today, this whole conversation, because I don't understand the full scope. And then when I'm trying to deep dive into something
you
very
seem to.
specific, people want to turn it into a general conversation. We are beyond the surface layer of just saying America. It's different
Sharon,
things.
you are
here.
generalizing. You're generalizing,
Right.
and then when he's responding to your generalization,
I'm not
you're getting
generalizing.
mad
So
at it.
I'm not generalizing.
You said the Republican and conservative fucking party.
Just real quick.
No, I did not.
He did not say that.
Hold on. Y'all
Sharon didn't say that.
hold on. Y'all really have a listening problem. I'm saying,
you
Nah, I'm
do.
gonna go get the screenshot.
You do.
hold on.
Nah,
I'm saying
I know how to do
very,
this.
hold on. I'm saying very specific things. Very
Exactly.
specific.
We talk about specific things, and you go, let's not talk about specific things. Let's talk about general
And then
things.
when I talk to you about the specifics I'm talking about, you started talking about things that I am not talking about to try to prove a point.
So, Sean,
Shadow,
you do understand sometimes we have a
this is how it
contrast.
went. You're talking to someone that's
I
not going
don't
to
want to have a
comprehend it. It's quite
conversation about
obvious.
the conversation,
He
please.
keeps on saying we
That's not
don't
what
want to
I'm
have
in
a
a conversation.
conversation, and then keeps attacking us, saying we don't comprehend this, we don't comprehend that. We're doing this
And
to
you still wanna
try
have
to
a
make
conversation
ourselves
about the
correct and all this
conversation.
other
You
stuff.
turning into
The
KT
conversation-
today. I guess you want to
conversation
get KT the
started
GOAT spot. You want to talk about the
I guess I
conversation?
do. The conversation started because we were talking about them chanting death to America and them using that and then funding terrorist groups. He says, hey, don't talk about generalizations. Let's talk about let's be specific. That is something specific. He then goes and says, oh, well, what about these policies that Republicans are having? Or what about this that MAGA's doing? And all that's a generalization. You're making it more general than that specific point we were on. And then you're bitching like a female about it being general.
That is not general. I'm telling you very specific things. That's not in general.
Okay,
You're talking
so here's
general-
why it's general.
What's going on here?
Here's why it's
You're
general.
talking about general MAGA and Republican policies. That's what you're doing. We're
I
talking
gave-
about death to America, and you changed the
hold on,
topic.
hold on. I
You
gave
changed the
spec-
topic.
Hold on. I gave specific
to America.
things I was talking about.
Change the
I
topic
did
to
not
what
leave
is
it. I did
happening.
not just say,
Okay.
hold on. I did not just say generally them. I gave specific things that happened in this country recently. Very specific.
That's right.
And was that
It was
intentional?
not general.
And
So stop saying that
and
just
so
because
when-
I say
when-
something doesn't mean it's true.
when someone says death to your family and then they fund someone, well, not yours, I don't want to speak that into existence or anything. So like, let's just say someone was saying death to somebody's family and then they paid some ops or some gang member to go physically harm that family. You're saying that's equivalent to someone let's say firing someone from a job. In your eyes, that's equivalent because if someone gets fired from a job, if an employer fires an employee from a job, they no longer have the money, so they can no longer feed their family. That's equivalent to someone paying someone to harm someone else's family.
I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Yeah, this is the issue.
Right,
with
it's the same
comprehension
false
skills.
equivalency.
No,
The
it's
issue with
not.
comprehension
Let's
skills.
talk to what I'm saying. Saying a
Okay.
bunch of
Sure.
words don't mean anything.
Sure,
Just talk
you
to what I'm
literally
talking
said,
about.
okay,
Literally,
you
okay,
literally
literally what I'm talking about. Is that
No,
we
it's,
have
you
people
at
in
some
our
point the reading
government-
comprehension changes.
Right. For some reason in our government, y'all willing to give dumb excuses where they are putting literally harm to Americans. They doing policies that's doing harm to Americans. Now,
where did that statement come from?
My job.
Okay, but
You have
where
to
did that
spoon feed the
statement
shit
come
to him,
from?
Shadow. You
What
have to
does it
spoon
matter,
feed
Wick?
shit to
I'm
him.
saying it. I'm
No,
saying
no,
it
no,
now.
no.
I'm
Okay,
saying it
but here's
now.
the point.
So just address what I'm saying now.
Okay, here's what
Because clearly
it's not the
I
same.
don't fucking understand. I'm saying
Sure,
something.
no,
and
you
you're
don't.
asking
It's
me
not
dumbass
the fucking
questions.
same. It is not the same. I don't know
It don't
why
have
you
to be the
decided.
same.
Okay, so, all right,
No,
so
you keep
regardless
talking.
of it being the same, and I just answered this statement.
Okay, answer the question. It's not a general point then. Even though you're saying
Well-
it's harming some Americans, it is not an act of terror. That's what you're trying to make the dumbass equivalency to.
Okay,
It's
so
not the
now-
same fucking
okay,
thing.
Okay, so now since y'all think y'all okay, so now them saying death to Americans, who did it harm over here?
They're not gonna be able to answer that because
Step.
saying words
No, you want to bet?
Brownsville
watch
literally. This is the issue. Brownsville
y'all just
literally
killed
just gave
Charlie
the
Kirk for the
example.
Why
same
I can't
reason.
answer the question? Just answer it. It's
I am
it's a
answering the question.
When I was
Just
answering.
answer it.
It is
Go
being
ahead.
answered.
So
You
go
have
ahead. We're gonna
Number
let
one.
Shadow- hold on. We're gonna let Shadow talk first.
You just
and then
asked.
y'all goes right after. So again, them saying death to America, where did that equate to Americans physically dying? Go ahead.
Order of operation. Chants death to America. Funds terrorist organizations that attack Americans. Americans get attacked. Death to Americans. It is literally the order of operations of terrorism.
Where?
What?
Where? Okay, so your
And
order.
nigga,
Hold
I'm
on.
in Texas. It happened in Austin 2 days
Why
ago.
you keep letting
3,
him
4
work?
fucking days ago.
What
Hold
does it
on.
matter?
I'm gonna send the fucking money. That's not the point. This shit's irritating me.
Hold on. So again, are you saying that man in Austin is literally contracted by the Iranian terrorist group?
I think his shit froze.
Yeah, I think he went there.
So if you're saying we're talking about the ideology. This situation in Austin, until there's more background, I doubt he was directly funded by, Iranians leadership or anything like that. No, it's the ideology. So you said, how does death to America end in result in the deaths of Americans? He gave you the example. They're screaming death to America. A dude over here, radicalized, says, yeah, death to America, and then kills Americans. That's how it is. That's the quote unquote order of operations he was showing you. Now, if you want to say directly funded, you can go to literally pretty much any Shia group in the Middle East, Iraq, the 2 black National Guard members from Georgia that were killed a few years back when Biden and Jordan. You can go to Kuwait, the Kuwaitis, the 6 service members, rest in peace, that were reportedly killed in Kuwait. You can go throughout the entire Middle East and see when they get attacked by groups funded by Iran. So, you sit here and you say, hey, I'm just trying to learn. These are easily Googleable, verifiable facts that they fund terrorist organizations within the Middle East that then launch drones, that then launch mortars, that then kill Americans. And they do that in the name of death to America. So don't say it doesn't exist, and don't say there is no.
So now,
What?
do we have Americans that is funding those same terrorists?
No. Wait, Americans? I don't think so. If we do, then they should be arrested. So it doesn't really matter. I don't understand what the point is.
Are we not going to acknowledge that Sleeping with the Enemy is not just a movie, and that's what happens? People get in bed with their enemies for their own reasons, and that's how it's always been. So you will fraternize and you will deal with the enemy for whatever reasons, that the benefits that come from it could be whatever. But yeah, people have to get in bed with the enemy on things. That's not breaking news or anything you should be shocked about. That's how it's always been, and it will always be that way.
Wasn't CT up here saying that he will make money on both sides?
On both sides. And this is how easy their logic breaks down. It doesn't
break down, because I think the same thing that should happen to them that are funding terrorist groups in Iran should happen to the quote unquote Americans that you claim to be funding Shia groups to target Americans. They should be arrested and put in prison for the rest of their life. So what the fuck is your actual point?
My point.
The same thing should happen to both of them. Your logic breaks down because you have an issue with holding them both accountable.
I just watched Donald Trump do a speech, and he literally promised these people certain death.
And so the problem is, those people over there, they don't have the power unless we give them the money to do it. We are the ones that's giving them the goddamn power.
You really just said that on live. You really just said that out loud.
Iran doesn't make money unless the U.S. gives them money.
Oh my God! See,
or is it the terrorist groups? Which one?
This is when I feel like. Hold on. This is when I feel like the comprehensive skills is breaking down. Right. So I'm not talking about the GDP.
I didn't say anything about.
We are literally talking about very specific things, and then now you want to turn it into a general Iran.
No, I asked for clarification.
Somebody very specific. This is crazy to this happened in real time. I'm talking specifics, and then you want to ask
who are the specifics you are referring to?
About Iran.
Who are these specifics? 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 Because were we not talking about Iran and the terrorist groups that they fund? So I thought that was what we were specifically talking about. Since you want to get away from them, what are the specifics? Who are these specifics? Who are these specifics? Who are these specifics? Ron, who are these specifics?
And me and you.
Who are these specifics?
And me and you.
Who are these specifics?
Can you please stop doing that?
Can you tell me who the specifics are?
If me and you had those answers, we'd be running the country.
Who are these specific
Then why would you even say it?
Who are the specific groups that are being funded?
Know the reason why I said it, because we know what is happening. We don't have no proof of it.
Oh, but you know it.
It is above our pay grade, and we don't have the power to say, hey, this person is doing X, Y, and Z. to pinpoint to say that person is doing something against America. We know that, and I don't know why we're trying to act like we don't understand these things.
Okay, so who are these specific groups that you said America is funding, and they only have power because America gives them funding? You said you want to be specific. Who are you specifically talking about? Because we were talking about Iran and the Shia groups that Iran funds this entire time. Then you switch it up and say, well, we know they don't have power unless America gives them money. And I said, so we're giving Iran money. You said, oh, see, I'm being specific, and you don't want to be specific.
Yeah,
who are
so
you specifically talking about?
I'm going to specifically stop by later on because it's been about 45 minutes and 45 different topics. But I'm going to let you two fight it out. Habaragani, love to the panel.
He's all over the place.
You
it's
are
pathetic.
not understanding the conversation. You are so you you don't understand that we have things that's going on in our government that they are over here funding things in other countries so they can make it sound like they are the terrorists.
Okay, so which you said specific, be specific, stop talking abstract, stop talking generalizations, and be specific. Who specifically are we funding?
You got it.
I know I got it. It's just pathetic.
Yes,
No, you're making the point. Stand on it. We're trying to understand your point, and you're not giving it to us. And
Okay,
now you get mad every time we talk about it.
All right, hold on. So hold on. Let me get this right. Do we have specifics that Donald Trump did something illegal with children?
We're not talking about Donald Trump. We're
I just
talking
want
about
to know. 'Cause I
Iran.
want to
Stick on
understand.
topic.
I want to understand this thought pattern that y'all dumbasses are
Try.
saying.
Stop changing.
Yeah,
Stop changing topic.
I think we do.
You're obfuscated.
So why haven't nobody? So why we haven't arrested them?
Okay, so
Because
we
they
can give
control
you
the
a
government.
list, but we can give you a list.
Why?
Of
Answer the question.
we. No.
never
See, you're trying to
answered that.
obfuscate. We're not going to do that dumbass shit.
We don't like.
We're
we
talking
like-
about Iran. We're talking about
Right,
Iran.
Okay, so now,
and you're
so now,
asking about
now I can
terrorism.
correlate it for you. So just because we know corruption is happening, it doesn't mean I know the exact name of the person or the exact group of people that is behind the scenes that have
Okay.
all the goddamn power. That I know specifically a name who is doing the actual corruption in America. If I had that kind of information,
Right.
I would be somewhere else. I would either be locked up or dead, or I would be the one running the country.
I didn't ask you who's I didn't ask you who's funding
For
it.
some reason, hold on. For some reason, y'all act as if you didn't understand what I was trying to communicate. That I do not know the exact person that is doing that.
Nobody's
I
asking
know.
you. to name
Nobody
names.
said that.
You should know.
But what I do understand that it is
Okay, that's
happening.
yeah. You understand that it is happening now. Who is being funded? Nobody asked. You see how you? This is the reading
Like-
comprehension issue that you have. Nobody said to name the people in America that are funding the terrorist groups. I said,
Bro,
who are the
he
groups?
changed
being
our
funded?
entire argument.
Who
Like
are the
he-
groups specifically being funded? Because you said those groups or that nation or whoever wouldn't have power without America funding them. Who
It's
is
not
the
our
group?
business who would. You know what? I'll tell you the answer is
Oh, okay, so
none
you
of our
just- you
business.
just say
Because
goofy
we're
shit
not,
and then
nobody
just go,
over here
well,
is
it's out there in the
speaking in
ether.
that
We
type
just
of
know it's
position.
happening. There's
We're
no
not on that
proof.
hierarchy.
We
We're
just know
not
it's
up there
happening.
where we can get that
That's your
information. But you know it's being done. It has
Okay,
always
you just know it's being done because I said, all right, no proof whatsoever. What is the specific? Stop
He
talking.
wouldn't even be able to tell us, even if
This
he
is
was.
the definition of being general. The definition of being general. Hey, we know it's happening. We don't know who the group is. We don't know where they are, but we just know it's happening. That is literally the definition
Well,
of being general.
I
You
tell
said
you what.
don't be. Sharon said stop being general. Stop speaking in generalizations. Who are the specific groups being funded?
Hold on. We can even bring up the groups that Iran is funding.
No. Who are the specific groups being funded?
Can't, because you cannot link them to what you cannot.
You can't link.
I get it, Sharon. They
This
really
is
trying.
crazy. Because if we
Hey,
can,
we can literally
If
fucking
you-
give you the names
so,
of the
so
groups
give
that
me
they were
right.
funding.
So that's fine. So give me
Stop.
the link that that Senegal man is connected to. Go ahead. Since you're so smart and you know all this
What the
goddamn classified
Bro,
information.
hey, look, first of all, you can't gaslight me, so stop playing with me.
Right, but all you want to do is just say a
Two.
blanket statement.
Two, that is not a blanket statement. You literally were wrong. You're
About
making points that
okay, slow
you are
down, slow
literally-
down. Hold on. So I'm wrong about
Never.
what? Go ahead. I'm wrong about
Ooh. Sharon,
wrong about
you
that.
What is
literally,
wrong with you? You must be on dope or something.
bro. I'm not even fucking entertaining that dumbass shit.
Hold
Man,
on.
Here's the fucking problem. No, I don't even care.
Hold on,
No, I don't care about none of that
hold
dumbass
on, because
I don't
all
give a
y'all
fuck
do is-
about none of that.
Hold on. Please just be very clear on what I'm wrong about.
Sharon, the thing that you're wrong about and what you stated earlier was the fact that we can't pinpoint who Iran is funding directly, which was not the conversation. You're saying, how does death to America, again, the very beginning of the same dumbass conversation, how does death to America equal death to Americans? The Iranian government literally funded terrorist organizations that attacked Americans. Ideology is
Okay, pause there.
government,
And can you
ideology,
prove-
person, death.
So where they getting y'all? You know what? Y'all got it. Y'all
No,
think the
continue. No,
if y'all
no,
really
you got
believe-
it.
if y'all- hold on, y'all got it. If y'all really believe the Middle East, y'all believe that they did 9/11 too, I guess. What the fuck ever. Y'all niggas is crazy.
Okay, so now we get to the foundation of it. Sharon believes that America is the perpetrator of everything going wrong with Americans. All the Americans that die, it's because America funded these groups behind the scenes. He won't name the groups. He just knows that they exist. Just pick any group that has ever blown up American. In Sharon's eyes, it was America's government or private American that funded that group.
We funded
blow
a
up
lot of the
Americans.
people who ended up coming at America. You do know that, right?
Yes,
So
but that's a different thing. We didn't.
Hussein
Yes,
and all of
that's
them, remember? Yeah, so we
Right,
did
so-
do that, right? We do know that, right?
Yeah, if you want to do the I'm just gonna say these random blanket statements and not give the context.
Wait, are you
I'm sure
saying
you can
the
do that.
government did not
Um,
hire these people in order to attack other countries on our behalf? We
do
know
you have
things to be
do you have a
facts.
yeah, that's great. Again, if you want to bring up shit and not give the context. So for example, if you want to talk about people like to do this link between Osama bin Laden and the US government, whatever, even though it's very murky at best and probably just didn't exist generally speaking. We talk about the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. We funded the Mujahideen because it was during the Cold War. We were working pretty much every foreign policy action we did between like 1950 and 2000 or 1991 or so was foreign policy action to stop or counter the Soviet Union. So when we look at Afghanistan, for example, we fund Afghanistan. We fund the Mujahideen against the Soviet Union because Afghanistan was essentially a colony of the Soviet Union. They didn't want them there anymore. Then a war starts, and we fund the Mujahideen because we feel like it's at that time and in the future in the best interest of our national security, our national interest. And so that's what we do. We fund the Mujahideen. Well, who does the Mujahideen turn into? It turns into the Taliban. Now, someone like you is going to tell people, oh, well, the U.S. funded the Taliban. And someone's going to hear that that's not educated on history and is going to go, oh, we've been funding the Taliban to work against us this whole time.
If we gave them the weapons that they use, right? No matter what they were called,
like I was saying, someone like you will say, hey, we funded the Taliban.
Dumping money in weapons.
Someone that doesn't know history and doesn't know the context, they're going to hear, the U.S. government has been funding the Taliban.
You're saying that I'm right, though. You're
absolutely
saying that I'm right. You just want to add some context and say, well, yeah, we did do that, but it was before they called themselves the Taliban, although it's the same group of people. Is that what you're saying? So you're saying I'm right. And so we know that Americans use other groups of people to do some of that dirty work. And then when
we funded the Mujahideen. We funded the Mujahideen.
It's
go after
them.
Retards. We funded the Mujahideen to go against the Soviet Union. To equate that to the U.S. funding terrorist groups to bomb, to blow up Americans makes zero sense.
Then did they not then come at Americans?
Wait, AR.
The Taliban?
Lord have mercy.
Bomb, you made a statement to me once.
It's kind of crazy to really hear.
Wait, Bomb made a statement to me once, and it's sitting really well right now. Bomb, didn't you say if two things have changed even a little bit, they're not the same? So the Mujahideen and the Taliban are not the same, based on your definition of what the same is. I'm just giving you that
same, wait a minute. I'm sorry. They're the same group of people, but they changed the name. Is you saying they're not the same?
So are they still the same?
The same group
Are
of
they
people.
intent?
This is a problem with
Are
y'all.
they
This is the
intent?
hold on.
Wow.
This is a problem with y'all. Hold on. This is a problem with y'all just asking questions and questions and questions. We never get to actually what's going on, right? Right. Instead of just making a
You
statement.
always jump in right when that question got asked. That's
That
weird.
was a good question, though.
But it's going to take it away. That's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
It's not because it goes into what AR is saying right now. AR literally had you heard what he just said? He said when they would.
The problem is that it is not.
They're not the same fucking people. They're not the same people.
They are the same.
Okay, so hold on. So this is what y'all know. A Democrat and a Republican, are they not Americans?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're clearly different.
That's the argument.
They're clearly different.
Right? We know they are the same, but they have two completely different ideologies. But it's the same airplane. So again, stop trying. Y'all conflate way too many things.
You just countered your own argument earlier today. Yes, you did.
Y'all keep just saying stuff instead of just making a statement. You saying that I disrupted something and I contradicted doesn't mean anything. Show the contradiction. Stop saying.
Here's the contradiction.
It doesn't make sense. Hold on, just catch me up in the conversation. Don't just say I did something to you without ever being able to explain it. Again,
every time we start explaining what you're doing, you stop us.
The problem is that if we knew exactly who the people were that was playing both sides of the fence, those people would probably be in jail. If we knew that.
What does that have to do with anything?
By the time it gets to us that we know who the person that was playing both sides of the fence, it's always 30, 40, 50 years later.
So how is funding the Mujahideen against the Soviet Union playing both sides of the fence?
Asking me how.
Yeah, how is that playing both sides of the fence?
Boy,
if I'm asking a question that you don't understand or that you can't comprehend, you can just say that and we can move on. I know it's hard for someone that's not really versed in history and only reads conspiracy theories to understand.
You know he not. Why you asking him when you know he didn't make the statement and now you expect that he gonna give you the answer?
A statement for a question that I didn't bring up.
He just said,
ridiculous.
He just said if we knew who was funding both sides, we would do something. We don't find out until 50 or 70 years later. Well, it's well past that for when the Mujahideen was funded. And I gave kind of the background history of the Mujahideen. So who was playing both sides?
I'm not talking about Mujahideen. I'm not talking about that. You talking?
He didn't mention that. That's what we're saying.
Who are you? So
talking about. So again, this is the
because
problem.
We're talking about the Mujahideen.
What I'm
right?
doing. Listen,
that was the example we gave.
Please listen. I did not bring up Mujahideen. You did.
I understand that.
Okay, so don't ask me.
I'm asking you to give specifics, and you can't give specifics throughout history.
Again,
give
when I was talking
throughout history,
the statement that I just gave have nothing to do with what you were saying.
Okay.
I don't know why that comprehension is not there.
Okay.
You just want to be right about whatever you want to be right about. That is fine.
Well, you was just cheerleading when Bomb Cherry was talking. You was cheerleading. You was over there with your pom pom.
Oh
yeah, right, Cherry, right, Bomb Cherry, right.
I didn't even
do it 2 seconds ago.
Oh my God! So just because you saying something doesn't mean it's true.
It does.
What?
You can't make this shit up.
He was not cheerleading. He didn't even say anything based on what I was saying.
He was cheerleading when you was talking about the Taliban. He was over there with his hands doing all these motions, going shaking his head. Yeah, I understand, and that had, and he was agreeing with you. He was cheerleading what you were saying. So then when I push him, both of you can get pushed on at the same time. I don't care. Both of you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so it's fine with me.
You give the $2. You broke
again.
Mother.
You keep on saying that you said the Mujahideen, we funded the Mujahideen, therefore we funded both sides.
Like I can handle so much, but I didn't say anything. I just gave my opinion, right? I didn't call you stupid or none of that. So I don't think you want this work. We can have the conversation, but I did not disrespect you. Now, if we're gonna start disrespecting each other, just let me know, baby. Because I promise you from now on, every time I see you, we going to have that type of relationship. I never came at you that way.
You're right, Bon Cherry. I'm sorry for being disrespectful. I'm with the smoke if you want to, but I apologize for being disrespectful to you.
Okay, because
you are right. You don't do that shit. So I'm sorry for getting, crazy with you.
Okay, well, thank you. And I was just disagreeing with you. I said something, you can disagree with it. It's okay. It's okay, babe. You might be right. I can look it up, but I ain't got time right now. But I think I might be right, though. I think I might be right. You could be right too. Go ahead. You got it.
The issue is that we're not necessarily saying two separate things. The issue is that you're portraying it as something it's not.
But I didn't portray it as something it's not. I just made a statement. you absolutely agreed with me, but you said I was keeping things apart, but I didn't know I had to go into real detail history. So I get it though. You said there.
I'm Cherry. Sharon is saying that the U.S. funds all these organizations to then attack America. He said, "Oh, you guys think that the Middle East did 9/11?" That's what he said. That was a precursor to when you jumped in. Oh, you guys think that the Middle East did 9/11, implying that it was actually Americans. So then when you come in and you talk about, when you come in and say, oh, well, America funds both sides, or you say something like, well, America funds the groups that then attack Americans, you're essentially co-signing what he is saying, which is essentially America. The only times that bad things happen to America is because America funded the groups and told them to do it.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Okay, well, that's what he said. Let me
tell you what I heard. I did hear him say, hey, he mentioned 9/11. You think that whoever did 9/11 did it, but there was somebody else who did 9/11, and America do support them. Right now, you take it to mean that Americans did it. I don't know. We gotta hear what Sharon said, but I didn't hear him say that. I didn't hear him say Americans gave money for 9/11 to happen. But that is one of those things that out there.
It's just because it's out there doesn't mean it's true.
I get that. But that's not I don't subscribe to that, and I'm not sure if he does. But when I broke in, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't saying American.
He's okay, Brown Cherry. Earlier, he said the only reason that these groups have power is because America gives them that power. That is what he said earlier. So if he then goes and says, oh, you guys think the Middle East did 9/11, whether he's talking about America did 9/11, a different terrorist group did 9/11, Israel did 9/11, he's saying the only reason they have power is because America gave them that power. By virtue of that, that means America did 9/11. America enabled it. America supported it.
We kind of did enable it, right? If we was the ones who was teaching these people who was flying them planes how to fly, but never taught them how to land the planes, and nobody ever said, well, damn, like they're gonna get in the air, and like, so that was Americans who taught them how to do that, right? Gave them access to the planes and everything, right?
They never taught them how to land.
Yes, you didn't know that.
If you're asking if someone,
they didn't care about learning how to land planes. They only wanted to get in the air in planes.
If you're asking if the Saudi pilot or whoever the nationals were of the ones that piloted the aircraft into the ground, into the Pentagon, and into the World Trade Centers, if they took classes, if they took flying classes here,
hold on one second.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, most of them did. But you have to get a flying license to take that. You still have to land.
Hold on one second. Hey, look. If y'all want to keep conversations going, we got 200 people building. Y'all gonna have to support the show financially. We need at least $40 more to keep the show going. Because I ain't gonna keep having all these risky ass conversations.
Yeah, it is kind of. We said a lot of trigger words.
Play the music, cuzzo. Play the music, man. Yo, y'all gotta support.
I'm not gonna keep having these difficult conversations. A lot of things that neither one of us can actually prove, because if either one of us had the ability to prove these things, we be in a different position in life. We be politicians, we be goddamn senators, governors, and possibly even presidents type of situations. We be in the places where everything we talk about is classified at the highest level. We have information that the president don't have.
Hey, Sharon, are you saying that nobody up here belongs to the cabal?
At least I believe so.
So we don't get that information, okay? We just
there's the first half. There's the first half. You need 20 more.
You know what I mean? So when I'm having a conversation towards it, right, I do need to understand that I do not have the exact people and the exact organization that is doing all the nefarious things, right? I do not have that kind of information. And I don't have the resources to go ahead and find what LLC was made that is not really a goddamn real LLC, and they are doing something else nefarious over in other countries. And I don't have that kind of information or have the time or resources to find out that information. But we know it is happening, and we know we are the main ones doing a lot of these things on this side of the world. I don't know why we trying to act like we don't know things all of a sudden. Now, we don't have one of the strongest intelligent enforcements in the world. And now all of a sudden we are dumb to the other side. We literally topple governments.
And also fail at toppling government.
And also sometimes to topple a government, we got to make it seem like they did something to us so we could go over there and start to do whatever we need to do over there.
That's a strategy. That's how it's supposed to be done. I'm gonna make up a reason to go over here and beef with you. Meanwhile, I just want to come take and steal your stuff. I don't know why anybody's surprised.
Okay. Hey, BG, how long have we been beefing with Iran?
Hold on, but before we go into that conversation,
because y'all act like we had to make something up in 2020. Like this is something new.
But you could just make it say what I asked the question. But before we get to those questions that you got, we had $25. Y'all need to keep on showing that y'all do want to have interest in these conversations. I could barely get y'all to hit a like button. I've been asking for the past 3.5 hours just for the like button. Y'all couldn't do that. And then now that I'm asking y'all for $1, some people are going to be in the chat probably saying some nonsense. But for the past 3.5 hours, have I asked for $1 or was I asking for likes and shares?
Asking for likes and shares.
So now we at this point that y'all couldn't even do that because y'all hard-headed for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's strange to me. Every time we attempt to have the conversation about the distraction of the Epstein files, the distraction of this bullshit ass Iran war that I do not really understand, the more questions I got answered, the more questions I had. It doesn't prove anything. And neither AR or Shadow is showing a shadow of a doubt why we should be over there blowing shit up.
Don't use me as a pun, Negro.
Neither one of them is showing that we are just blowing up military bases, because we are not. We're just masking it under the fact that, hey, this a very important person was at this building, so therefore that building we needed to blow. Nobody even questioned what building it was.
It's not just one person. Like,
it's okay.
It like 12 of them.
It wasn't meant for you to react right away.
Well, I thought you just asked the question.
No, all I did was say your name.
Question marks. No, you used me as a pun, sir.
That's it. I used it as a talking point just now. That's. Let me read. Yeah, we don't have to get it together as people. Like we having a tough ass conversation. We got AR in his Fifi today. Shout out to the Cash App. It says Lay. Thanks for the content. I appreciate that. I really do. It means a lot. Y'all be thinking this shit is easy. See how I'm getting cursed out? I get cursed out on my own damn show. Like if me and AR was in front, we'd have been rolling around. God damn it, furniture would have been moved. God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's at yeah, with all this going on.
Hold on, pause though. That was kind of crazy.
Hold on. Before you let me read a couple of super chats. Okay, we read that one. We also got CJ Brooks, facts and receipts. Please remember the 9/11 victims who were minding their own business and were unalived by people whose only goal was to strike Americans. And I was here in New York, and it was kind of crazy to see it happen. Shadow, the Giant Wilds for Toy Boy. He said, "Him go have, goddamn it, leave me alone." Thank you so much, Shadow. And go on mute, goddamn, with your damn bags and your chips.
I mean the Krabby Patty.
God damn it.
Eat quietly, like me and Sharon doing. We eat silently and quietly. You know, you got to dip off, and you know, you got to have a little demure with your eating.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Yogi Fish, one with the $5. Great conversation. Hey y'all, just lower your emotions, please.
I don't see AR in there. That's that reading comprehension issue.
I'm just reading the super
We just
chat.
talked about this.
Damn, why I can't just read the super chat? Otis Who Network with the $5. Hydroplane on the highway this morning and totaled my vehicle. In the hospital, watching the show. Hey y'all, you get on my goddamn nerves. Peace and love. That's what it said. I don't care what AR said. Acid bath, $1.99. I'm not giving anything. Shout out to Shadow the Demonocracy. That's what it said. That's what I read.
He's gonna bite.
So not to deviate. So with all this going on, I wanted to encourage you all to still pay attention. You know, this administration is going forward in enacting the Lunar Project in the 2025 project. And I want you all to be aware in just a few days now, we're about to get with it on this launch, all right, to do this little flyby around the moon before Artemis 3 comes and they start to begin to fight over the moon. So let's not forget while all this is going on, the space race is real with US, Russia, and China all trying to see who's going to get there first to start mining the moon and stealing the helium. Okay, so I although I don't support us defiling our moon in that order, I am still Team America, because if somebody gonna get there first and start doing these things, I would like our country to be the first one to land. So make sure you all support, okay, Artemis 2 and 3 on this mission, because it's serious business. Okay, this administration says they will be the first to start mining that gas, since they ain't worried about Iran like y'all think they are. They gonna take it by any means necessary, including mining our moon. So please be informed that is going on currently, and in just a couple days the flyby will go on, and then from there all three will be rushing to who lands there first, and first dibs. That's whoever gets there first gets to mark their territory on their part of mining the moon to bring those resources back to Earth. That's how bad they say we want the gas, we want the oil. Okay, we'll tell you what, we're just gonna go up there and take it from the moon. I do believe that's Trump, his administration. So while y'all worry about when they say we're gonna take it by any means necessary, that's what we mean. And if that means they're gonna go up to the moon and start stealing its helium and its oil, and finding a way to bring it back to Earth, they are doing that. Okay, and so don't be surprised when people say, oh, we want it, we're gonna do what we got to do to get it, and we're gonna take it. Because then I didn't see anybody, I didn't see America nor Russia or China asking God, hey, can we come and have the oil and helium off the moon and bring it back here and profit? No, they didn't ask no permission. They're gonna defy the universe and take what they want. So please keep
I have a question. I have a question, because I've been hearing people say, hey, we need to get there first, we need to do this first, and so we need to go and take it. So how does a corporation taking something, how does that help us as the American people? Because what I found is, even if America get there first, right, or we go take something, these corporations sell it to us, and it's expensive, right? Even if we own the vibranium, now how do you pronounce it? Y'all know I don't know. I'm just giving that as an example. Even if we own it, a corporation here got there first and it was here. Even if it was here, mined here, they still sell it to us at a very expensive number. But in other countries, they not necessarily selling it to them as expensive that they do sell it to the American people, because we have capitalism, right? So I guess I'm wondering how, if a corporation like Musk, if he goes up there and grabs something, how does that benefit us as American people?
Because he get access to it.
Just real quick, I want to say, yeah, that's the one thing that they're only saying it will benefit us, but not giving us any specifics. That's a nice way of saying, so we just taking it, but we don't know how it's going to be distributed to Earth or whatever. Yeah, they just taking it. They're not giving. They say they don't owe us that. That's their billions. They putting in the money. It ain't our business on what they're gonna do with it. That's a nice way of what they're saying, but they're just gonna say it's gonna benefit other American people. And that how they're not giving that out. They're just we don't have that access. And China completely won't even share anything. They just don't want to be left out and want America to have our deals. And of course, Russia going to get pushed back. So no one is giving a concrete reason, except for they just found out they can take it and found a way to do it, and they don't have to tell us anything whatsoever on how it's going to make us better.
Well,
Perfect.
China,
Let me ask. Good day. Welcome to the show, Jay Brown. How you doing? What's your thoughts?
Oh, so you don't know why we're over blowing up Iran?
I do not, Jay Brown.
Oh,
Okay. Here's how it is. They put their citizens.
Hey, Jay Brown, just
into,
before you go, just be very careful with your words because you know YouTube is very sensitive with certain words. So just be very careful of the words that you choose.
I'm well aware, but they've got their country, their citizens into a dictatorship almost. One big ass mistake. America gave them billions. Well, Biden, and also Biden, biggest idiot Democrats ever nominated, gave them billions to put their country into a regime. They are attacking Israel. They got problems with Jews. They got problems with us. You know something? It's like it's just like Toby Keith saying, "You fuck with us, we're gonna stick a boot in your ass." And that's what we did. We stuck a boot in her ass. And if you can't see that, too bad.
So you're saying that Biden, he gave them billions?
He gave them, Biden and Obama both gave them money, trying to keep, and all they're doing is taking that money and using it to attack other countries. Guess what? Now we're kicking their ass. Does any one of you have a DD-214?
yes. Couple
Good.
of us.
If you got a DD-214, you know what we're doing. We're over there making them free, just like people bitching about Venezuela. Chuck Schumer got on national TV in 2020 and bitched out Trump, saying he needs to take out that tyrannical dictator. Guess what? He does it now. Now you got Chucky Schumer bitching like a little schoolgirl that he did it.
Are you drunk, sir?
No, I'm not drunk.
Are you usually drunk?
Hold on, y'all. Just respond to what he's saying.
I know you crashed out now,
Don't
right?
we,
Oh my
don't
God.
we, can I go?
Yes, go ahead, Bob.
Okay.
That was dumb.
So I thought it was the people who we giving money to and things like that was Israel, not Iran.
Yeah, we give money to Iran.
We do not give money to Iran.
Right.
We had a nuclear deal.
Hold on, Jay Brown. Jay Brown, hold on. Let him establish his argument, and then you can refute it after.
What you are simply talking about is us having a nuclear deal under Obama. That's about as far as it went, right? We weren't giving them money. In fact, we were putting sanctions on them, right? If they didn't allow us to inspect their facilities, if they didn't allow us to make sure they weren't making weapons grade uranium. See, you're just spitting out Hannity's talking points. You watch Hannity, don't you? You're a Fox News fan? I can tell.
Okay,
right?
you asked the question. Hold on, let me answer that. See, you want to answer that question, Jay Brown?
You might want to look it up. Biden and Obama gave them both gave them money.
All right, so he's saying they did give them money, but he was saying that it was for nuclear. What was it for, Willie?
No, they did not give them
Yeah, we
money.
didn't give them money.
We literally put sanctions on them under Obama, right? We were
Yes.
stopping them from making money. What gets criticized is the fact that we had this nuclear deal that allowed them to enrich uranium to a point, right? The small hats hated that. That was their major beef with Obama. He's not protecting
Willie,
us.
there was like $7 or $4 billion, $7 billion, I can't remember, in a bank account that was locked up that did get released.
Yes, it was their money.
Yeah, we took the money, we gave it back. Okay.
Yeah, but here's the kicker, though. Here's the
But it's
kicker.
not like
If you
we're
don't think
giving
they
them
gave them money,
reparations. It's not like we're
Hold on.
paying
Let
them
him
like we
answer.
paid.
Willie, let him get a chance to respond. Go ahead, Brown.
you if you actually think that, if you're gonna believe that shit, that's like believing that Bill Clinton and his wife didn't lie like a rug on that friggin'. They, come on.
Is it like believing that Trump has the best interest of America in his mind?
Or like he doesn't touch kids.
One at a time.
You don't
Let me-
believe that,
hold on,
right?
hold on. One at a time. Hold on. Let AR ask Jay Brown a question. Go ahead. AR, ask him the question one more time, please.
What question?
Hey,
The one you
I
just
don't
asked.
think
The sarcastic question you just asked.
Oh, it wasn't
I don't think
sarcastic. It was
any of them
serious.
do.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think
All right.
any of
He
them.
answered. Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
No.
Oh, okay. Any other times?
He's a criminal. He can't vote.
He said no.
Oops.
And look, if y'all don't want to have a conversation, I don't know.
I'm fine with having a conversation.
I did not vote for Trump.
Okay. All right. Yeah, any other 3 times?
It doesn't matter. He said he didn't vote for him.
Okay.
What's
All
the
right.
point?
I don't believe him.
I just want to clarify that what he said was totally wrong, and he's also
What do I
saying,
do? What do I do? What do you want me to do? Go get my voter ID card?
It's
and
okay.
he's and he's also saying, you know, boot to ass and everything. When your president is literally doing the same thing, he's threatening these people with death. He told them they are facing certain death. Right now, should they have the ability to just come bomb the White House? Like, y'all are talking out two sides of your face, and it doesn't make sense.
They really don't.
They really.
Anybody, AR, Shadow, or Jay Brown would like to answer this? Because that's all going to all three of y'all, actually.
What was the question?
Shit. Ask it one more time, Willie. About the White House.
I mean, everybody's pointing out, right, that Iranians at a protest say...
No, the question that you just asked about
I know,
Trump,
chill.
when
Everybody's
Trump
saying
said
that
the
these
death to them
Iranians
all.
are saying death to Americans at protests, right? Well, God forbid you hear the thing screamed at some of these MAGA rallies, right? But our own president, our leader, has literally threatened these people with certain death, right? So for me, that's way more impactful when the leader of this nation is spewing this rhetoric that, again, you can also find right in our streets and MAGA rallies. We threaten as well. Like, why is everybody so in a tizzy now that gives us the right to go literally bomb children? Because that bomb was so huge, and I'm laying here. That was my major beef with it. It wasn't a surgical strike. They didn't hit a building. They didn't even hit a block. They took out a zip
Just let the
code.
taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see you try it.
You're muted, Sean.
The next time we Shadow the Tiny Wasp for $20.
Your mic sounds kind of like you're underwater or something.
Right now?
No, it's better. Or maybe it was just me. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, because you have a problem with hearing. Seriously.
I got one side of my headphone on, so maybe I should put the other side.
For the individual that continues that when they have nothing to say or disagree with someone, it is very juvenile to just ask us, is someone drunk? Is someone's whatever? That is very low vibrating and juvenile. Be mature about what you're going to say. That's not working. It's just coming off real childish and juvenile. And everybody up here is grown. We big grown. Okay.
I think Stanley came on and said that shit again.
No, somebody just now asked somebody when they start talking, are you drunk?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear that.
It sounded like you.
Crazy. Oh, it sounded like what?
It sounded like you that just asked somebody, were they drunk when they were giving their opinion on something. This is real childish.
That don't sound like something I would do. Back to the question though, I think part of the issue is that you guys keep on saying, well, what about someone chanting it here or chanting it there? I don't know what Shadow said, maybe, but for me, when we talked about this on Saturday, I never once said anything about they chant death to America, therefore we should bomb them. And today I'm not saying that. I said that on Saturday?
AR.
Did I say that on Saturday?
That was one of the main arguments that people had.
I don't care what people had. I said me.
Yes, you today. Okay, you today.
I didn't get to today, did I? No, I said Saturday and you made a face. Did I say that Saturday? No, so sit back and relax. Today, we're talking about it. It's not about chanting death to America. It's about chanting death to America and funding terrorist organizations to blow up Americans. And I don't even believe that the protesters are the ones doing it. So I don't think that I don't think that a protest that says death to America, that they should necessarily have a bomb dropped on their head. But the funders, so the leadership, the ones that are actually controlling these terrorist organizations, chanting death to America, and then going and giving money to these terrorist organizations, I have no problem with them being taken out. When it comes to these maggots that are in the U.S. saying extreme things about other Americans, I think they should be arrested. If they're funding organizations to shoot Americans or something similar, yes, I believe that they should be arrested.
Well, that's not going to happen.
I didn't ask if it was going to happen.
Well,
I'm answering Willie's question, and he got kicked off. I don't know why he got kicked off because I was I don't know
Well,
why he waited so long to talk, and then
never going to happen. Just like the people who fund cartels to move as they move certain things in and out. Just like all these people who participate willingly and willfully in certain criminal behavior, and it's understood because that's just how the world works. They're not going to be taken out. That's what they do. Okay, I don't know why some of you all are acting, particularly you, like we are living in the kingdom. This is not the kingdom of heaven. This is earth. And last I checked, this belongs to the dark one. And last I checked, everything we had that we're enjoying right now was built off of blood, corruption, nothing good. Nobody's land is good. Everybody is living off of exploitations, debauchery, evil of every nature, merciless killing everybody all the way from Rome to the other end of the world. So I'm just still trying to figure out what is the surprise of, oh my gosh, can't believe they did that. We've been doing this. People been getting bombed and slaughtered for no reasons. No explanation. It's just because that's what the world has been doing. Coming in, wiping out people because they can do it. Yes, we know it's evil and greed, but when has it never not been evil and greed? It's always been that way. So I'm not shocked. There's always been things worse that have happened and we're going to continue to happen. Nothing is new under the sun. There's not one thing that's going on now that was not going on back then, in medieval times, back in goddamn Solomon. Not once, even Old Testament for the hardcore Christians, wiping out entire other tribes just to have that land. It's never not been done that way. Kids totally wiped off. Okay, no explanation given. Blow them all up. It's always been done that way. That's just how it is. Until it's not this way anymore, and that's not going to happen on any humanity. We don't have the ability to undo the doing of how this earth is. We don't have that type of power. Right. Okay. This is never gonna happen. So I just don't understand what all the complaining is for. Well, they wasn't complaining back over there in Pompeii. Oh well, you just got wiped out. They're acting that way. The Mayans, their whole civilization with how they got down, nobody knows what happened to them. They got taken out in a way that to this day no one has any clue they just were all gone. But we do know they were indulging in very, very sick things with children, sicker than what we're hearing. And maybe that's why they just woke up gone. Okay, that's what happened. Nobody knows what happened to them. But we do know they did very sick, twisted, and past demonic, just straight up devilish things with children and infants, unspeakable things. They're not here anymore. Okay, and whatever power entity had that authority to do that, they did that, and that'll be the same case here. When it gets to that point, we will wake up and not all be here. We'll be somewhere else, and wherever that is, good luck to people. I don't know what folks do.
Do you think it's the U.S.'s?
I'm not
surprised. The
U.S.
is a Christian nation?
I haven't heard one thing that shocked me to say, I can't believe this is going on.
Do you think the U.S. is? Do you think the U.S. is a Christian nation?
No one's a Christian nation. Okay. Christian is not even a real type of word. So you're not. What is that?
So when you say that this belongs to the dark one and something about the high one, what were you referring to? Was that a specific religion, a certain text, sacred text that you're referring to? What are you referring to?
I'm referring to just about everybody in most faiths understand. Well, I guess if I'm using a biblical terms, then it's specifically said who this kingdom belongs to. Yeah. Who the prince or who runs this show, and it is the dark one. It is like why are we out?
So the Mayans were wiped out. So the Mayans were wiped out, and you said that was done because the high one chose it to be so. No,
I didn't say. Well, now hold on. Now repeat that. Now let's make sure you're saying correctly what I said. Repeat that last thing about what I said.
From what I heard, it sounded like you were saying the Mayans aren't here anymore. They were doing all these devilish things to these kids, and the high one. they were gone, and that's when the high one deemed it so, and it'll happen to everybody else when the high one deems it so. That's essentially what I heard you say. Is that incorrect?
Okay, I'll take that. It's
okay.
We can go back. Y'all want to take it back?
So that was great. No, I don't need you to keep yapping.
Let's go back to Egypt.
How about the Mayans were gone? So the Mayans were gone. So
let's just use history. Hold on. Let's also use
Christianity again. Do you believe that the U.S. is a Christian nation?
Let me finish. Let's use history.
Well, I'm trying to ask
I'm going to take Christianity out of. I'm not even going to use Christian.
You're about to bring up the Egypt firstborn, which comes from the Bible or the Torah. So do you believe that the U.S. is a Jewish nation?
I'm going to use history. In Egypt, in the books, whether you believe in anything, at one point in time in Egypt, all their firstborn were wiped out. You don't got to believe in nothing. That's in history.
Okay, what history is that in?
Something happened.
What is that in?
And all those firstborns were wiped out. So whatever
history is that in?
That we know that happened. Yes, it's sad. People's babies was gone and whatever.
She's on drugs.
But that's what it was. Okay, and that's what I'm saying.
And then she acted offended. Like how you don't know why people think you might be on drugs?
Who's gonna check? What I'm trying to say in a nice way is who you think y'all checking? Who gonna check? The ruler of the world who made the decision to say, kill him out, take him out, and who gonna check the one above them that say that gives them the authority to let it go? I don't care nobody. We don't have that ability to check any of it.
So does the one above all use people or nations on earth to enact his or her will?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, you don't have to keep on yapping. So how do you know when the one above all is using? How do you know when the one above all is using a nation or people to enact his or her will on earth?
Because nothing gets done without his permission. So if he says,
if the U.S. invades another country, that is the will of the one above all. So you should always support it.
You don't gotta like it.
I'm asking a question.
Nothing. Let me tell you something.
Nothing happens without his
permission. Yes, somebody in another higher place gave permission for another entity of dark to do evil. Let them do it. For answers you're never gonna get. You don't gotta like it. That's how it's gonna be. You can't do anything about it, and you can't stop it. But don't be surprised when all the kids are. Yeah, what was that King Herod that killed every child? That's history. That's not Christianity. That's history. When King Herod killed every male baby from the ages of 2 and under. Back over there, that was in history books. You don't need to believe in nothing. King Herod killed every male child because he didn't know, he heard of a coming of the king. But in the history books will show all those women.
What can you name one of the history books for us? Can you name one of the history books for us?
Y'all, King Herod, that's in history. It's not in a history book. King Herod killed all those infants from ages 2 and under. What do you think? What you want to go? This ain't what we can do that, but this isn't the platform for that. But that's part of history. That's documented. No one's arguing that never happened.
Where is it documented? Can you tell us where it's documented at?
Sir.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. The reason I was asking the questions about
kills all male children under 2 and under for yourself. What you think? This ain't Sunday
school.
So
the reason I was asking all the questions about what you believe, if you believe
this ain't nothing about what I believe. This is about what happens and what's going to continue to happen until it's just not happening anymore. Meaning we don't exist. That's what I'm saying. Children are going to have been wiped out. Some entities.
So Sharon, earlier you heard CT, he was talking about
a king. Then would be like the president. So King Herod would have been like some type of presidential figure for that group of people, and he sent out an order to kill all the males 2 and under, and they did it, except for whoever got away or hid. They were all. It was a very sad time. None of us were there, but it happened. It's documented. That's not a theory or something like a fairy tale. That deaths has happened. So do you think anybody rose up and took out King Herod? No, he still kept reigning as the CEO, the chief officer, the president, the ruler, the king of that nation, and those kids were still dead. And guess what? The world still kept going on, and it was evil, and it's right, but it evil is as it does. So I'm just trying to see. There's really no outrage with. How can this happen? Somebody bombed and killed kids. Okay, well, they've been doing that. People, that's what they do. these leaders, they're not people who are expected to be heavenly figures. That's not how you are going to. That's not how this works. Okay.
Josh,
That's
if you had kept your money, you could have dropped her
probably why
instead of
we're
Will.
functioning like
I don't
we
know.
are.
I have no
because
clue
it's
why you
never
chose
gonna
to drop
happen that
Willie
way into
when
the
she's
next.
up here yapping.
I'm done because you just want to just keep on talking to me, and I'm really kind of tired of talking to you. So
Hey,
moving on.
Ain't the one above all good? Nothing happens without his permission, correct?
Sir, I'm not going to keep answering and saying the same
Hey,
thing.
Sharon, I got a question.
I said what I said.
I wish CT was here. But you remember early, he was talking about Islam, and I think, what was he saying? He was basically like, he never wanted to live under a theocracy, I think he said, or something along those lines. He said that or no? And so when I hear, the reason I was asking her these types of questions is because it seemed like he doesn't recognize, well, if you ask him, the U.S. is a Christian nation, which I don't know how many people up here agree with. I don't really agree with it. But you have people like Beachy who believe that nothing happens without the one above all's permission. So to me, it would seem that if there's a lot of people like that in the Christian faith, or in the faith that they won't say they're Christian, they just keep on quoting Christian texts and whatever, however they want to say it, they would utilize the U.S. to do things that they think is in the interest of the Bible, or interest of what they believe the one above all, that they call the one above all, or whoever they want to call them, would have them do. And I think that's scary too. And I don't think that's not recognized enough. Like, there's a lot of hate against Islam. I think a lot of what he was saying about Islam is correct, but that extends to a lot of religions. And I feel like right now, especially in the U.S. Christian base, there's a lot of that, what's the word, fundamentalism, where it's like, hey, we need to start these wars in the Middle East, or we need to do certain things because Jews have to have Jerusalem again so Jesus can come back. Or, hey, we should let this happen because God is the one saying it, or ordaining it, or whatever the case may be. And I don't think that's talked about enough. I think it's kind of being skirted by right now. I think a lot of people on here are Christians and they don't necessarily subscribe to that view, so they don't want to address it. But it is a problem, and it's a growing problem in my eyes.
Yeah. And like I said, ain't nothing you can do about it. Unfortunately, no one wants to see. Yeah, in a sense, when has there ever been a war in anywhere else, or countries, invasions, colonization, where women and children in the most horrific things, going back, even Vikings, when they came in and invaded and decided they're going to come over and they're going to take this and raid and do that, what's the first thing they did? Raped the women and killed their children. It was awful acts done. And guess what? Guess who colluded with the Vikings? The goddamn gone Brit. They that's what we call sleeping with the enemy, getting in bed. They said, well, we tired of, let's make a deal. We know y'all gonna rape and kill us, but can you just rape and kill some of us? Because we can help y'all and give y'all some extra gold and treasure. We can make this more amicable. They agreed because they knew they could not stop it. They were not going to be able to completely stop them from pilgriming and raping and abducting their children.
I can tell you where that happened.
I can't say rape. Let me just say assaulting, because I can't say rape.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. I just want to ask the moderators, can y'all please do your job? Y'all see somebody saying something wild crazy about me, please delete the comment. Like, I don't know why. Like, I think that shit is like, I'm riches. It's all good. I'll take the wrenches my goddamn self. It's all good.
I know someone that could get a wrench.
Everybody asking me for a goddamn wrench and all that shit. Ain't nobody want to do nothing. I just want to see your name in blue. Like, the shit is not about if I like y'all or not. That's not what the wrench is for. The wrench is not about if we cool or not.
Yeah, I get that. But no, I would just kind of give you, like, with history, I know you don't got to believe anything. The Vikings, those are pagans. That ain't got nothing to do with no Christian faith. But they did. They came, they took, they conquered, but then they actually had the worst way to do it. And not only we just going to take it, we're going to violate you, defile you, we're going to assault you, we're going to do all these things. And it made more sense for the ops to say, you know what, y'all are going to do this anyway. So how about this? You all can have this part. They like almost like having a sacrifice part of their own land so that the rest of them can make it and live and come up with an agreement with the enemy. Like, I know y'all gonna come in here with all these dang on ships, you're gonna raid, you're gonna rape, you're gonna kill, you're gonna enslave our children. So how about if we let y'all just do all that freely, give you this so that we can have some collateral damage. That's been going on forever. So there's nothing, it's not surprising to me. And I expect for our government to say, well, we're going to get in the bed with the enemy on this. Sleeping with the enemy is not just a movie. To do some backdoor dealing, all for the benefit, as long as in the overall good, we still winning. But yeah, it's going to be some sacrifices that's going to be done. And unfortunately, it will be sometimes, and most times, the innocents, they pay the price. We can't do nothing about that. It's been going on though since the beginning of time. So nothing in 2026 is shocking than what was going on way before then. It's the same stuff. We learned from them. The predecessors did wherever it started. The predecessors, this is how they conquered, not just divide and conquer, divide, conquered, kill, rape, everything evil they could do. That's what they've been doing. So nothing's new. This is the same stuff. So I would expect whoever in this country in leadership, I need you to be thinking more diabolical than the enemy, because they're going to do it to us anyway. So yes, I would, whether I like the president or not, I'll need them to operate in a spirit that thinks I got to be more evil than you. I need to be the bigger devil, because we all devils. So I'm gonna go with the bigger one, because at least I got a chance to make it with mine. So yeah, if we got a country running with a bigger devil who's willing to do more evil genius stuff to keep ourselves safe, so be it. I don't got no complaints about it, because it's gonna happen anyway. So yeah, you gotta be the bigger devil sometimes just to keep what you got against the other devils. That's not so rocket science to figure out. So no one's gonna be in a place where it's kumbaya, no evil is being done, everyone's living in peace, no murder, no assaults, no children being hurt. That place doesn't exist on this earth. Now somewhere else, yeah, but while we're here on this earth, this is what we got to deal with. So yes, please give me the bigger devil so I can make sure he operating more ruthlessly than the other people, so that I can stay in America and live with the luxuries that I have. That's how I feel, and I digress on that. And anybody thinking otherwise, then you go with the lesser team and the lesser devil and see how that works out with you. For you, probably not so well. That's just how it goes. I digress.
So choose the bigger devil, not the less devil, not the one that's more righteous. Choose the bigger devil. Is Beachy's message. Thank you. Thank you for that, Beachy. Sharon, you about to end the show, because why you just let her yap like that for about 20 minutes?
I'll let you yap for 20 minutes too.
I know, but do I sound like a crackhead?
Sometimes.
All right, well, not today.
That's the same thing I can say too. I would say we said the same time, Sharon. You said hump. I said the same thing. I said,
here she go.
Because I know he get it. I know Sharon understood everything I said, and I get that you can't handle the people that really got something a little bit extra than you have with your fake higher than everybody else. You can't take it. So everybody got to be a drunk or something weird going on, when really the reality of it is we call it like it is. We don't sugarcoat it and pretend I'm so surprised. Yeah, this is how it's been, and it's gonna be this way until kaboom, it ain't this way. So it ain't nothing nobody can do about it. So be happy that we have the luxury in America to sit here and talk about it and engage in a healthy dialogue. Be happy that we have that here, because I'm pretty sure elsewhere in other places, they can't even speak out on their people without somebody coming in there beheading them. No one's going to come and bust up in any of our houses tonight and behead us because we had difference of opinion about the administration. That is the luxury of living in this country, and I'm not willing to trade it for nothing. So guess what? Yeah, some people gotta go, so be it. People have always gotta go. When do y'all think is never gonna not be death? When death is here, until the time when death is conquered, death is here. So what is the shock? I'd rather be with the winning team, and we're winning. We are on the winning side. I'm going to go with the winning team. I don't care if I like you or not or voted for you or not. I need to be with the winning team. And America is winning. Anybody that thinks otherwise, go move somewhere else, stay there for about 5 to 10 years, and then let us know send us all the documentary how you winning. You know how quick you're gonna be flying back over here, because other than a vacation, nobody actually wants to live in those places. You might want to vacate real quick, dip in and dip out, have a quick couple little pictures, but nobody really want to stay there. I don't really want to live in Dubai where I can't wear a tankini tank top just because it's hot. I don't want to live there. But I have no problem going for a little vacation and coming back. So let's be honest about that. Who has moved up somewhere else and came back and said life is so much greater? This is the best thing ever. This is great. No, they're not. No one has that story. Y'all be in the chat talking something. We all need to just leave America. We just need to look. Okay. Well, no one's stopping you. But when you get the E. coli from that dirty water, or you find out the healthcare system ain't doing what it's supposed to, or whatever, or the discrimination now that you got going on. So we understand America discrimination on brown people. Go over there and see how they finna treat you living in Japan. See how that work out.
I'll say one thing. You got one hell of a set of lungs.
Set of what?
Lungs.
Well, I don't smoke. So yeah, I do. For the non-smokers, I do got a good set of lungs. I appreciate you complimenting me. But y'all have had plenty of time to sit here and say something, but you ain't got nothing to say right now. You can have the floor.
No one's been able to say anything for 20 minutes.
I've been feeling in the time because maybe y'all so goddamn
I'm a redneck, man. We call that talking like the flapper on a duck's ass.
Listen, what I need you to do is go fix your avatar, because that white dot really bothering me right now. Why can't you have at least a picture like somebody else? That white dot throwing everything off. I need you to exit out, fix your white circle, make it a picture, any kind of thing, and then come back and try that again. Because talking to a white dot,
I got a question.
It don't feel so good. And I digress. Y'all can have the floor.
That's double standard.
Don't ask me nothing. Talk to yourself.
That's double standard, because before you were bitching about people complaining about your sunglasses, and you said that was your right to wear them sunglasses. My right to have a white dot. I have a right to have a white dot, just like you have a right to wear them shades. Those shades don't bother me, so my white dot shouldn't bother you. That's double standards.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How's that grab you? If you don't like my white dot, then someone else didn't like your shades. You know something? Don't like it, don't look at it. That's the way. That's my motto.
I rock with your white dot, J Brown.
Yo, what's up, panel? What's up, Sharon? Bomb Cherry, B.
You missed the craziness.
Yeah, man. I'm listening. So like real quick, I love America. I think for us to be able to question our government, speak on our government in any type of way, outside of obviously, threats and stuff like that, I think that's what makes America America. That's what makes us, in my opinion, the greatest country on the planet. And to answer BC's question, I wouldn't want to live under like no other government, not Russia, not China, not nobody, right? So, but as an American, and with what I just said, I don't think that this war is necessary. I don't think that the 6 members who passed away and the more that are going to pass away should have passed away. They should be home or alive if we wouldn't have gotten to the situation in Iran, right? And just real quick about the death to America part, right? If I say death to MAGA, that's not me saying, right, I want MAGA people in America to die. That's me saying death to the ideology, death to the culture, right? Death to it's the spirit of MAGA, not necessarily to actual MAGA individuals, right? So I just wanted to just address that point. And then my next point is that when it comes to happened earlier, we can disagree with each other, right? Me and Sharon can go back and forth. Me and AR can go back and forth. But when we start like throwing ad hominem attacks or shade or calling people feminine or the B word or whatever, like that kind of gets disrespectful, and it's not really like a good faith conversation anymore, right? It's more so us trying to get one up on each other. And when I listen to the conversation, I appreciate what AR was saying. I appreciate what Brownsville, what Josh, what Sharon was saying, what Juice was saying. But if we could just keep it cordial, because we're all cool, and stuff like that, and we're all trying to better the conversation and inform each other, I definitely would appreciate that. But that was towards earlier.
Yeah, but Kulu, the thing is,
AR, you need to have a little bit more maturity. Go ahead, Brownsville.
Yeah. The thing is, my brother Kulu, right? So on your second point, on a Death to America point, right? You do understand that there are radicalized Islamic terrorists, right? That say death to America. And then they also, transpire to bring death to Americans, right? So we know that it's not just a saying and they're just being hyperbolic. We know through evidence, right? Whether it's bombing U.S. embassies in Turkey or Jordan, or convincing people online to commit atrocities against Americans on U.S. soil. We have verifiable evidence that suggests that those people who are radicalized, when they say death to America, they mean it wholeheartedly, that they want to see death to Americans, right? So I'm not saying that everyone that says death to America means that that's what they want. But the problem is that when it comes to those radicalized Islamic terrorists, we can't give them the benefit of the doubt to determine who's who. We just got to be on guard and be on watch and take preemptive action to stop them. So that's the only point that I disagree with you on. Peace and love to you.
I'm open to any suggestions of anyone who thinks that they have.
Justin, mute your mic.
Yeah,
my bad.
So,
but I want to respond real quick to Brownsville. Peace, love, Brownsville, and I would agree with you if, like, the same standards were held to domestic terrorists or people within this country that do the same thing, right? So I sent a super chat earlier talking about Charlie Kirk. There was thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands of people, that literally were telling Trump, just give us the green light and we'll end these Democrats' lives, right? So threatening their own Americans, and we've heard the rhetoric since Trump has been in office about if Democrats and liberals bring traitors, being scum, right? All types of stuff, right? So why aren't we on guard when it comes to individuals like that are threatening Americans inside of America? I get what, like the Islamic, and terrorists, the situation, but I just want the same standard being held to both sides, not just one side because they're Islamic and because a couple people within the movement have done something to America and shouting death to America.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, so it's not just because they are Islamic, Brother Kulu. It's because they are radicalized Islamic terrorists, right? With verifiable evidence that they plan to bring death to Americans, right? So there's a difference there. Also, I agree with your other point, right? When it comes to domestic terrorism, we should have that same vigor to bring them to justice, right? But the only difference is, right, one is not American and the other isn't American, right? So I love to bring the example of if me and you are family, Kulu, right? Like me and my cousin Sharon, right? And we know in our family, we got some bad apples, right? That that we're working towards bringing to either a recalibrated value system or bringing them to justice, right? But we're not going to handle them with the same amount of harshness as we do those who are on the outside of the family, who are coming and with the intentions to harm us, right? So that's where I would go with that. I believe that we should be harsher towards the people who are not Americans, and they're espousing an ideology to bring death to America, versus those who are in America. We should still bring them to justice, but there's a certain way we have to handle them, which is different than we have to handle the Islamic radicalized terrorists. Peace and love.
I want to ask, can I ask Sharon? Sharon, I hadn't been able to ask him one question. Sharon, you know, when I say you got to pick your poison, choose one. You might not want poison, period, but you got to pick one. And you can be completely against. I don't like how this feels. I don't like how it tastes. The poison, but you got to pick one. So, how do you feel about understanding? Well, I don't like this. I don't like this administration. I didn't vote for this person. I don't agree with any of this that's going on. But I gotta pick, and I choose the place that's gonna benefit me, or the poison that's least likely gonna harm me. And it is where I am in your comfort of your home with your wife and that beautiful little girl. You are living the great American dream. Okay, you're gonna not give that up to try to prove a point and go where you finna go. Ain't nowhere you can go that you're gonna get it any better. You do, like, you know that, right? Like, where could you possibly uproot your, I'm just asking that, where would you uproot your family? Say, I can't take it, this administration. Okay, where you finna go? Because you ain't going to heaven right now. Right? That's not on the table. I'm talking about while we're on this earthly planes, not some other dimension. Okay, where would you have a safe place to take you and your daughter and your family to uproot, that you don't got to deal with all the debauchery, the nefariousness, the evil, all this is going? Where you gonna go, Sharon? What would you be your answer to this if I was logically asking you that?
Sorry, you have to ask this the last part. I was doing something.
It's okay. I was saying about choose your poison. When people say you got to pick your poison, choose wisely. And I was asking you, as a father, a husband, a beautiful daughter, you don't. So let's say you don't like this administration. You don't like what's going on. You all this, that. Okay, but what would be your answer to that? Because you can't remove them. You can't do anything. Where would you pick up your pack up your backpack, because you can't take your house, your stuff with you? Are you gonna load up your backpacks, pack some tents? Where you finna take the wifey and the daughter that you're gonna have any better? Because you can't go to the skies, you can't go to heaven now. What's your option? What is your option right now for anything better than what you can provide for your family than where you are right now, regardless of all the debauchery that is going on? Not maybe, but that's going on with the administration. Where you gonna go? What is your
Morocco? Morocco.
I was asking Sharon.
So what I would do is I would go and try to at least visit other countries and see what's going on there. Maybe even attempt to live there for a month, 2, 3, 9, 8 months or whatever. I would try different places and try to check out their culture, try to check out their laws and see what's going on, check out their banking system, actually attempt to see how it would be like living there. What is rent like there? What is work like over there? See if I have the skills. I would definitely go to the place and stay for an extended period of time, or maybe go to a specific place and then travel to other countries while I'm over staying at that one space and see which one I like more on whatever side of the world that is. If I was in Africa, I would choose a country that I want to have a base in, and then I would go to different countries to see how it is in those other places as well. That's what I would do if I had a real thought to possibly leave.
If you went to Morocco, you would never come back. Free healthcare, no income tax, and you could buy what would be a $500,000 house in the United States over there for $100,000. Hell yeah.
Okay. Morocco is a place I would try to look into. Well, that's a good information. So that's what I would look into, where I can actually buy land. Well, who would give me some incentivize me to move to their country? I know there's a lot of countries that's willing to pay you to move to their country, but those places that's willing to pay you to move there, just like here, is usually a very rural place. And so, I would go and take my family there and see if I could actually deal with the people, the smells, just the way how the city moves, because it's easy to look at a city from afar and say, hey, I would like that. But once you're actually in there, you smell, you see when they pick up garbage, that changes the whole thing.
Good. That's an excellent answer. And I'll just add on to that. They recently, my son is in the Air Force. They offer him his next assignment is coming up, and they put a lot of stuff on the table in these really big houses for like so little money. And he's telling it to me like, Mom, I can get us all out here. We can live in these $1 million houses. Like they're gonna do all like the opportunity. I said, son, we don't know nothing about over there. I don't know no support system there. That sounds really great, and I'd be living like a whole queen and king. Like, but I think you need to wait till you get there before you go making no decisions. See if because I know us. If it smell right, how rural it is, have you been until you touch ground and have been there for a few months and can say this something you can stick with. Don't sign nothing up to do that. Don't have us about to uproot everything here. Right. Study the land first, because you get there and realize ain't nothing around here. It ain't even I can't order stuff. I don't like how it smells. Like put on the ground first. Don't just it sound better. Yeah, and he's younger, so of course he's gonna be bedazzled by looking at it virtually, but until you put foot on the ground and like you said, had an extended amount of time, not just 2 weeks visiting, live there for a minute and then say, nah, this is not the place for a family. These people act weird. There's a lot. That's how you start to see what was really going on there. What's acceptable. You didn't know in that place. Oh wow, 12-year-olds are getting like things that you can't hear about. You got to live it. You got to experience it. Yeah. Realize. Never mind.
For example, some countries like over here, like the square footage of your apartment is the square footage of your apartment. In some other countries, they use the square footage of the lobby as well as the apartment. So because they common space there. So say they have 1,000 square foot of common space where everybody that's in the building use. And say your apartment is 600 square feet, they would say you have 1,600 square feet of living.
And not only that, right? Because Jay Brown mentioned Morocco, right? And what Jay Brown didn't, tell you is that Morocco doesn't really have a middle class, right? You either rich or you're poor. Their unemployment is much higher, right? And there's a lot of people living below the poverty line relative to America, right? So that's the thing that we also have to consider, right? Cost of living and whether or not you're going to be able to get a job and make enough money suitable to your lifestyle.
Have you ever been to Morocco?
Of these countries, the majority of these countries. Have you ever been to
Morocco?
Including Morocco, right?
Have you been to Morocco?
Including Morocco, Jay Brown.
Here answer you, Jay.
Right?
If you've been to Morocco.
Hold on, Jay. Let him finish his statement and then you can ask him.
Yeah. Jay Brown, calm down just a little bit, my brother. All right. So including Morocco, right? A lot of these countries, you will be hard pressed to live the lifestyle that you live in the USA, depending upon how much money you're making, whether or not you can get a job. Peace and love.
And you guys, to be fair. Okay, sorry about that.
Let Jay Brown get a chance to just respond real quick. Go ahead, Jay.
Have you ever been to Morocco?
No, I've never been to Morocco.
So you're talking shit you don't know. I tell you something, buddy. The average Social Security recipient in the United States is $12,000 a year. My neighbor moved to Morocco making $12,000 a year. She sold her house, moved to Morocco, bought a villa in Morocco, pays zero Social Security tax now. She lives like a friggin' king. And literally, that $12,000 is like $100,000 in the United States. Until you've been there, don't talk shit because you've never been there.
Wait, have
You can't
you
go
been
by
there?
Google. Google can say
Brown.
that
Jay
Obama.
Brown. Jay Brown, one question: have you lived in Morocco?
Yes,
How long have you lived in Morocco?
I was in Morocco for 3 years when I had hip surgery because my sister and brother-in-law live in Morocco.
Okay.
When I had hip surgery, I'm 59 years old. I had a double hip replacement about 3 years ago, and I lived there until I could come home and go back to work. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a quarter of the cost of the United States. I've been there. I've lived there. You can't talk shit about something unless you've been there.
Well, that's not true, right? And that just makes you sound very unintelligent because
Really.
You know,
no, it
for
don't.
us-
It makes you sound intelligent. That people
Cuzzo,
understand.
listen. Can you take care of this?
Y'all get on my nerves. All right, we'll see y'all later. Nothing wrong with being.
Hype me up.
Let me.